Thursday night, 8 p.m. hits like a hammer on steel. Rumble lights up, we're loading the wheel. Bible laid open, screens burning red. Me and my man cutting through the dread.
Head to truthmedia.com, grab that raw feed. No corporate chains,
just truth, plant the seed.
I'm the shadow hunter, she's the warrior flame. Tracing justice, live, torching the game. Shadow lights explode when the clock strikes 8, and arms riding hard, crashing through the gate. Drops turn to fire, darks tear the veil. Truth and media blood, we never will fail. Tracing justice, running hard and true. Thursday 8 on Rumble, me and you. Husband and wife forged in the fight, digging graves for lies under freedom's light. Great awakening roaring, feel that rebel fire. Truthmedia.com, taking it higher. Lock it in, brothers and sisters. Faith like iron, no surrender, no rust. Rumble's our highway, in truth we trust. From morning to cold to the midnight ride, tracing justice forever, no place to hide.
Dawn and justice mornings, Thursday night thunder. Rumble at 8, tear the veil asunder. 2026 burning, this love runs deep. Man and wife standing, no promises cheap. Tracing justice, running hard and true. Thursday 8 on Rumble, breaking through. Husband and wife side by side in the war, digging deep for truth forevermore. Great awakening blazing, set the night on fire. Truthmedia.com, lift it higher.
Here we go again already, guys. Welcome to Tracing Justice, and we have got such an incredible episode for you tonight. I am Josh the Justice Cometh, and I probably need to put your name down there too. And this is my wife, Tracy Taylor.
Hey,
so
y'all.
welcome. Guys, listen, tonight we're going back to the roots. We're going to follow up off of our last episode that we had. We're going back to the Chans. we're going to where it very first started, and even before Q started posting on the chans. That's important because it got narrative seeded in by the Q team.
You're going to see it.
And we're going to blow you away tonight. So everything that you have learned about Q's origin on 4chan, wad it up, throw it out the window. Because I'm telling you guys, it is not what you've been told by some of these Anons out there.
Right.
And we've got the receipts tonight. So, guys, do not forget, Tracing Justice is brought to you by justiceshrooms.com and justicepetclub.com. So if you want to get yourself and your pet's check engine light turned off, check it out. Get on the shrooms. Get on what God provided us and get your body healthy and turn out those little lights at justiceshrooms.com and justicepetclub.com. So, are you about ready to get started?
Oh, I am. Yes, absolutely.
All right.
I mean, I learned something a while ago that I didn't know, and I've been doing this as long as you have.
That's why I am the cute guy.
That's
of
why I
Media.
said, y'all, get your notebook because you're going to learn something.
Yep.
I didn't know this. I did not know this part. So this was pretty interesting. I hope, notebook.
If you really want to be an Anon, you've got to know your way around the chans because you've got to know your way around the conversation. Context matters on when things happened and what Q was talking about. So you have to remember that. Hold on just one second, guys. Had a little tickle in my throat. Sorry about that. So I have also got a special treat for you tonight. We have got a special guest, one of our Truther Media own, and that's going to be Freedom Fire. How are you doing, Freedom Fire?
Hey guys.
Hey,
Doing
how's it
good.
going?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too. I'm still in my daughter's basement, but I'm here
Yep.
with you guys. I'm glad I'm here. Thanks
Me
for having
too.
me.
Did they throw you down in the basement and threw away the key?
You know, that would be great, but no, they have the key.
Yeah, that sounds like a vacation.
So before we get started, we are broadcasting from Rumble. So if you're rumbling away in the chat, make sure you give me that thumbs up on the way in. If you're just kind of lurking, even if you're watching on the TV, you can still give me a thumbs up with your little remote control right there. So don't forget that.
Yes.
And we're also broadcasting from pilled.net. So make sure that you give us that red pill and repost out there. We are also broadcasting from YouTube and Facebook tonight.
Mhm.
And thank you guys so much for showing up there on our growing platform. And we cannot forget about our X family. That is where most of our audience is. So we very much appreciate everybody out there. So if you're viewing us on Xville, make sure you repost the show. Let's get some more people in here and give me that little heart right there. That puts me up in the rankings and puts, us fighting against the algorithm, and especially with my account getting nuked.
Well,
And-
you want me to address that? I feel like we should.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yeah.
This is the first opportunity we've had to where we can explain what happened. And I'm just going to read what I posted about it in a comment. I didn't make an official announcement about it, but I'm going to share with you guys so that you understand. So I said, last night we made a mistake. We streamed the UFC event because we genuinely believed that since it was a public event and not a traditional pay-per-view broadcast, it was permissible to share. We saw others doing it or receiving requests to stream it and honestly did not think through the copyright implications the way we should have. That was our mistake. We take full responsibility for it. We did not stream it for financial gain. We don't make money from X live streams. And our intent was simply to allow people who otherwise could not watch to enjoy the event. Unfortunately, good intentions do not change the fact that we made the wrong call. As a result, Josh's account was suspended, and we are dealing with the consequences of that decision. We have learned from it, we own it, and we are moving forward. We appreciate everyone who has supported us through this setback and everyone who has followed the new account as we rebuild. We aren't blaming anyone but ourselves for our mistake.
Yep.
Yet, I'll say that in a minute. We've not thrown anyone under the bus, and we certainly don't grift. The only thing that has been said is that people we have supported for years have chosen to kick a man when he's down and haven't reciprocated the support.
Yeah.
Josh simply said that those he didn't expect would share the new account have shared it, and those he thought would haven't. We've not made excuses, only said what happened and why it happened. And this was in response to someone. So I said, if you don't want to follow, that is your prerogative, but the name calling is uncalled for and disappointing. So, but that is an explanation for what happened.
Yeah.
And just being honest, it was me. I was the one that wanted to do it.
Well,
I pushed. And he had reservations. He was, we did question it a little bit, but we
Guys, I'm
Not
the one
long
that I'm the one that hit the stream button. It wasn't Tracy.
so-
it was my call.
but that's what happened. So, we just want to be transparent. We made a mistake. We did. We're imperfect people. We made a mistake. That was a bad call. So anyways,
Yeah, I wasn't making no public outcry to, oh, X, give me my account back.
No.
This is wrong. I know what I did.
right.
But I was just saying, hey, guys, come follow my new account,
Like, this
please.
is my new account.
So,
this is my new account. Follow me here.
yeah. So I do want to go through the chats real quick, and everybody's checking into the chat. So over on YouTube, my boy Four Huskies checking in with 3 American flags. So thank you so much. And I hope the missus is watching tonight with you as well, because you're going to learn some things tonight. I'm just telling you that. And our X crew, Freedom Fire, is the first one that checked in over there on X. So thank you very much. And my beautiful wife, Tracy, checking in. And Sienna and Spammer Girl checking in. Spammer Girl is our Facebook manager and one of our Truther Media mods, and I'm going to let you go through the Rumble chat this time. So I'll go through the rest of them. She's like, oh crap.
Oh yeah. Let me get my glasses on.
So K9 Andrea also checking in over there on X, part of our Truther Media mod team over there, and keep your prayers with her. She's still recovering from her surgery. So Short Mom, give us the repost over there. So thank you. The Pink Lady showing up. I haven't seen you in just a minute in the chat. So thank you for checking in. And Cindy Rocks 260, thank you for checking in. And Mama Bear is also checking in. That is Short Mom. So Brian also checking in. Much love to you, brother. Thank you so much. Kilburn with the repost, and Mama Fox with the repost. And Truther Media's very own Sky Girl High checking in. So
Good to
thank
see
you.
you, girl. We've
Thank
missed
you.
her. Yeah.
so much. And over on Facebook, we got Kim, we got Deborah, we got Marnie, we've got Tracy Anise checking in, and we've got Kathy checking in as well too. So thank you so much for giving us a little love over there on Facebook. Pilled is still asleep. You're still asleep from this morning. So, guys, if you're lurking over there on Pill, just drop in the chat, give me a little hi. Hey, Justice, I'm here. So I would very, very much appreciate that. All right, it is your turn, hun.
Well, don't go so fast like
I'm
you
going to
normally.
let you here. I'm going to hand the mouse
Don't
over
go
to
so
you,
fast.
my friend.
Josh is a fast scroller,
I
and
am.
I'm like still trying to read. He's gone. Anyway, so Tense 15, good to see you very much. Thank you for coming in. Miss Debbie, I saw she had asked if this was my new hat. Yes, and I like it. And I'm going to talk to you all about it in a little bit. But yeah, I do like it. It's really cute. It's got like Longhorn, I think, is the print or whatever. But let's see. There's Tammy for real. Thank you for being here with us. Let's see. If I miss one, you tell me.
Hey, real quick, Pam Tate over there on Pilled, thank you for checking in over there. I appreciate it. She says, I'm working as usual. Good to see you. Good to see you too.
I already said Tense 15, didn't I?
Mhm.
Can't remember. Always with us.
I've just got a little bit more practice at doing it.
Yeah. Well, I gotta go slow. Nana 2112. I see you all the time too. Thank you for being here with us. Hootie Hoot. That's a new person, right?
Yeah, they were on Dawning Justice this morning, so thank you for
Welcome.
following us over here to
Yes.
Tracing Justice. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Thank you very
I
much.
think they're in AJP show a lot.
Oh yeah, big time.
Good
Yeah.
to know.
Mhm.
Thanks for being here with us. I hope you enjoy it. Is that oh no, here we go. There's RP or
R.
R
Pierce.
Pierce. Good to see you. Let's see, 929 Nan from Alabama.
Yeah, like I told 929 the other day, I'm sorry I cannot say Roll Tide. It's just
Oh,
not in
yeah,
my
no, we
DNA.
can't do
So,
that. No.
but we love you anyways.
That's exactly right. Nothing like some healthy college rivalry, right? I mean, I like LSU. That's just who I
Yeah.
love. That's
we'll,
me.
we'll forgive her. That's okay.
I know you're not talking. Yeet, my brother from another mother.
Part of our Truth or Media mod team too, so thank you so much.
Yeah, D-Bar6 from Portland. Welcome.
Wow.
Awesome.
Way out there.
Yes, absolutely. Curdy.
You're in the middle of the battle zone over there.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. Courteous, another one of our mods and contributors. He's going to be writing Substack for Truth or Media.
Yep.
I think the first one's July the 15th, but I'm not positive on that.
Yeah, I
but
can't wait to read it too.
Yeah.
Courteous is a really good writer, guys. So
Yeah.
if you haven't checked out his Substack, make sure you check it out.
Yeah. And Carrie girl, my girl. Hey, hello fam. Let's see. Steph Seams, listening and driving. Be careful.
Steph is one of my true social peeps over there. She tunes in from there. So
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. I think I
we got everybody.
have I?
It's just they're chatting away. There's one in yellow right there.
Oh, Karen.
Top.
Oh, well, let me talk about Karen first.
Karen, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. Thank you for being here. She says, hello, everyone. So, DRD. Oh, Dr. Deb. Dr. Deb.
Dr. Deb, Dr. Deb.
Yeah, Dr. Deb. Welcome. Thank you for being
You rock
here.
too, Dr. Deb.
That's
I appreciate
right.
that.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. I was, there's USAID paid.
Part of our Truth or Media mod team too as well, so thank you.
Yes. Oh, American Gigi. Hey, what'd she say? Hands aren't working. Well,
Hands aren't working.
Maligator. Are you from Louisiana? That's just, or you could be Florida, I guess, right? Welcome. I'm always excited to find someone from, like on X from I mean, right around here, Alabama, Louisiana,
There's your girl.
Where? KC. Hey, girlie.
KC is boots on the ground at the fraud summit over there in Las Vegas right now.
Well,
so
she's home now. She made it.
Oh, she made it?
home.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Yes. Thank you for going. I can't wait to find out all the good stuff that they found out. I mean, Tina Peters was there. And it was some good stuff.
Hey, real quick. Hey, Digi, thanks for checking in over there on X. He said, hi, Josh. Hi, Tracy. Freedom Fire. Ho, Freedom Fire. So thank you, Digi, for checking in with us over there on X.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, brother. Okay. So have I...
Right there. Yep.
What is that? Cat arm?
Cat arm.
Cat arm. They are burning junkyards.
I have to look into that one, cat arm.
Yeah. And I probably just got part of the conversation. I probably don't understand everything,
There's a couple.
Delia... Is that Delia?
Yeah. Are you a new viewer? So if you are, let us know and welcome in. So we very much appreciate you.
And Shika G?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
good to see you.
I think that's a new viewer too. So welcome in.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Arliana. Love you too. Let's see. Wham. Is that what that says?
Yeah. Wham 001.
I got to get some
Hey,
Chattanooga.
Yeah. You're from my old stomping grounds. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee originally. So I'm a hillbilly. So welcome in.
Yes, absolutely. We go through Chattanooga all the time when we get Josh's daughter.
Yep.
I love that curve where you can see all the valley and everything. It's so pretty.
Freedom Fire. When you're coming in to Chattanooga, you're coming into Tennessee when you start seeing all the mountains and everything.
Yeah.
I have a funny story about that, but yeah.
You do. Let's see. There's S. DeCirio says, thank you so much for doing this show. God bless you. God bless you too.
New viewer, so thank you so much.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. Oh, Mama Fox.
Here, Mama Fox, I'll go ahead and get a hold of you. I'm touching Trump right there, okay? I'm already ahead of you.
That's so funny. And Kilburn, good to see you. think that's it.
Yeah, I think we're caught up.
I think we're caught up.
I think we're ready to
If
roll.
I missed you, I'm sorry. I got to get new glasses for real.
So, also one last check-in, or a couple more check-ins actually. Wendy checking in over there on X, so she has been one of our loyal viewers for a while. So thank you. And ZZ Haas checking in over there on Pilled. So I think we're ready to roll, guys. So here's a little premise of what we're going to do first. Okay. So I've actually got some clips from some old shows that I have pieced together. And we're going to start at Trump's lineage first because that's important. And let me tell you why that's important. It's because, let's see here. Hold on. We all know that Donald Trump posts Q stuff all over the place all the time. And if you look on his lapel right here, you'll see Q plus. And we told you what Q plus was in the last episode. That is Donald Trump. So whenever you see on the boards a post that is signature Q plus, that was Donald Trump talking directly to the Anons. So, but real quick, I want to go over, if you didn't know this, before we go into our first video, Trump's Scottish, I'm sorry guys, I've something's wrong with my voice tonight. Trump's Scottish ancestry and family history. The family history of Mary Ann McLeod, the mother of Donald Trump. Mary Ann was born on 10th May of 1912 in Stoneway to Malcolm McLeod. I'm sorry, guys, I can't read either. McLeod and his wife Mary Smith. The family lived in Tong, a small fishing township lying about 3 to 4 miles from Stornoway, the only town on the Isle of Lewis. The parents married in 1891 within the Free Church of Scotland. Tong Malcolm was a local fisherman and the son of Alexander MacLeod and Annie MacLeod. And at the time of the 1901 census, Malcolm and Mary already had 6 children. Alexander, also a fisherman, would have been born about 1832. He married Anne MacLeod, a Tong resident, in 1853 and died Tong in 1900s. According to his son Malcolm, who was an informant of the father's death, Alexander was the son of William MacLeod, a crofter, and Catherine MacLeod. William died at a nearby,
I don't know what that says, Vasquer or something.
Yeah, Vasquer in 1869, and according to his son Alexander, he was the son of Kenneth MacLeod and Catherine McIver. So why that's important, ladies and gentlemen, it's because that is the start of the royal lineage that Trump is a part of. And you're like, well, why is that important? Well, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that very soon. So do you have any kind of opening words, Freedom, before we start getting into this?
No, I'm excited about this. Like I've told you before, I'm always interested. I'm always interested in the historical aspect of where things lead. That's always the best part to me.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of history in the Q drops that you just don't know until you dig. So that's the best part.
Yep.
You got any opening words before we start?
No.
So I do. I want you to keep an open mind because a lot of the big shows out there don't talk about this kind of stuff, okay? Because a lot of it can be a little boring, but a lot of it can be exciting too.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to keep an open mind because it may contradict something that you have heard over and over and over and over from other people. So, you know, cognitive dissonance is a real thing. When you think that you absolutely know something, but you're presented with facts that state otherwise, it kind of hits you hard a little bit. And you don't want to believe that. You don't want to think that you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying anybody's wrong, but this is from what I found. This is what my buddy Stav has found. You know, this is what Truth or Media has found.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So I'm all about the truth. I don't have an agenda. I'm not trying to spin anything on you. I'm not trying to sell you on a narrative. I'm just giving you some facts right here.
Right. And encouraging people to see for themselves. He's going to show you how to do this yourself and get this information. And then you make up your own mind. But you don't just go by what you've heard someone say it was about or what it is. Mm-hmm. Go see for yourself and make up your own mind. That's what we're pushing. you'll see once you look at this, then you'll understand better.
I want you to have all available information so you can make up your own mind and not necessarily just sit there and open your brain to whatever podcaster wants to tell you what's right and what's wrong.
Right.
Okay. Now, listen, guys, I may be wrong on all of this. Okay. And if somebody can prove me wrong, we will talk about it and I will sit there and listen to it. But until then, I'm fixing to lay some truth bombs on you and about what actually happened on the chans before Q started posting. So that's very, very relevant. And you don't know that if you're just on QAG and you're just on Q alerts and that's your main source of information. You don't know the context. You don't know the conversations that were going on. Mm-hmm. So that changes a lot of things.
What you're saying is if you're not doing that, then you don't know.
Right.
Right.
Hey, Maga Glammy, thank you for the check-in over there on X. I appreciate that. And Q Joe over there on Rumble. So thank you for checking in as well too. So again, that's the whole premise of the show tonight is context matters. Yeah. Hey, Mary Cullinup, thank you for checking in. All right, so away we go, ladies and gentlemen.
On forever. Yeah, that's the plan.
And guys, this is starting out with the back tracing Trump's lineage on a show we did on Tracing Justice with Digi, Stav, and Michael Observing Consciousness, and Tracy.
And so here with the Trump genealogy, as per your request. So we got Trump here. He was born in 1956. Here's his mother, Marianne McLeod Trump. So emphasis on McLeod. So the McLeod is a Scottish lineage. And if we go back a few generations, we get up to Donald McLeod, who was born in 1785. If we keep going back, we go into the McKay family. And if we keep going back into the McKay family, there's another Donald right here, Donald McKay, 1591. So Donald Trump's name is... it appears to me to be a homage to previous generations, where the Donald he is carrying a very old name. So we got the 16th century here. But if we keep going back, so this Donald was Lord Ray of Ray, and we go back here, Jane Gordon. So we're in the 16th century. And then we got Alexander Gordon was the 12th Earl of Sutherland. So you start getting into nobility in not the United Kingdom. It was different back then. But we go John Gordon, 11th Earl of Sutherland. And here, let's do a zoom out so we can start seeing the magnitude of these genealogies, just like the Rothschild family. So here's Donald in red. Yeah. And then this is his family lineage going back like so far up to here. So when I do genealogy on a family, I usually just start it and don't stop until I hit a wall. Yeah. And the wall on this one is still back many hundreds of years from here. But here we got the Stuart family. So John Stuart, the second Earl of Athol. So if we click on John Stuart, and then let me collapse here, we go John Stuart, and somewhere in this Stuart lineage, I don't think I've got it all populated on this map. We can check this out another time. It starts going. This Stuart family goes into the British monarchy and Scottish monarchy. Wow. So Donald Trump, like, I don't know if this is 100%. I've used multiple genealogy websites as the sources. I've had to translate a lot of stuff because the old English isn't written the same as modern English. I do my best to double check, triple check as much as possible. But so far, I've done this. I'm on my third round of checking this and bringing this across into this recent map. And at this point, here we got the Gordon family, maybe off of here. So at some point, this all branches off and connects to the current British monarchy. And then when you go look as well, Trump has his golf course in Scotland.
Mhm.
And if you go look at the crest of that golf course, and there was a bit of controversy with him using that crest because there's a monarchy protocol to issuing these crests, and there was a bit of discrepancy there, but they allowed it to go through. So what does this all mean? I don't know. But one of my friends recently, he was like, hey, how you've done all this Trump genealogy. He's like, and you've got it tied back to royal figures. He's like, now think about these no kings protests. He's like, why did they use the no king name? Because it's being contextualized as him being a dictator.
Right.
But I'm just explaining to you, I've done the genealogy and it goes right back into royal bloodlines. So I don't know what's going on there. I'm not insinuating anything, but there's a story there.
Yeah.
Right.
It's interesting, when he went overseas to England and everything, and everybody's saying that he's the king and the MAGA king. And so he honestly and truly has nobility in his lineage there.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah. You can see how much work, like how much clicking I've got to do to get through there. But yeah, we can look at this a later time.
Guys, I was muted. I'm sorry. So we've established now that Trump has royal blood in his lineage, tracing back to Scotland. So what that is, that's going to be important in our next video segment. So this one's going to be just a little bit longer. What we're going to be talking about is a back channel called Glamis Calling. That this was active back in 2016 before Q started posting. Some very interesting stuff about it. Now, I'm not saying that for gospel that this thing is 100% real. I don't know.
But it is quite interesting.
It's very, very interesting.
It's worth thinking about.
Did you have any?
Considering.
Did you have any comments about the Scottish stuff?
Not really. No.
Freedom. Anything to add?
I'm not surprised. I'm not one bit surprised. No.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we're going to go ahead and dive in to Glamis Calling.
Conversation for every day, because that in itself is an enormous job.
Yeah.
And most of it's just shit posting.
Well, the reason, remember when you and I were talking about the blockchain last night? So, my whole basis or foundation of the way that I see things is that there's actually no such thing as Q without the Bitcoin blockchain, because what happened on August 31st, 2017, 58 days before Q's first Q drop, there was on the blockchain, the Bitcoin blockchain, a NFT that was posted called The Games of Trump. And it shows him riding in on a dragon to slay the deep state. And he's got like a rating of like a 17 shield and a 17 sword. And there's only 1,717 NFTs that were actually released. And it basically tells the story of Trump defeating the deep state. And we all know who 17 is Q. And it's 58, it's 58 days before the very first drop. And it's on the Bitcoin blockchain. And it's very significant in terms of what it represents. And it just goes to show that the plan actually existed before the first drop. And you've even demonstrated that with what you just showed with the exchange back and forth between the Anons in the lead up to the first post.
So there's that first post wasn't random. There was prior knowledge to that for sure. and to have just the first day and the second day worth of posts to come out as structured as they are, that wasn't just done on the fly. That was definitely pre-drafted, you
Correct.
know. But there was a well, it's still there actually. There's a website called Glamis Calling, and there were like add-on people online that I'm just putting it in the chat now. Online that started playing with it, and it was like a Chinese weather balloon topic for the week, and then by the end of the week, people were like, "Oh, this is all just crap," and then they just abandoned it. But I went and mapped it, and it's a very similar format to Q, and it started in 2016. So in 2016, it had a first post here titled Satish Dhawan Space Center. You have a green light for January 20 launch of IRNSS-1E. So Satish Dhawan Space Center.
Guys, pay attention to this because he's validating Glamis Calling right now.
Is a real place. It's in India. And the satellite.
Have you ever seen this?
Okay.
The satellite right now.
Are you sure you don't work for the NSA?
I know,
Yeah.
right? Who are you, sir?
The satellite right now is probably about 500 kilometers west of my location in Australia.
Wow.
Like this is the satellite. Like this is it in real time. Like if I zoom in on this enough, you'll see it moving.
Hey,
So
Digi,
it's got the altitude, the longitude, the latitude.
back channels are important.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and here's the SATCAT number. So this is the United States Space Command. So the satellite is legitimate. So the very first Glamis Calling post had this Satish Dhawan Space Center. So straight away, that's a tick. That's a green tick. There's nothing fictitious about that.
Right.
Now the next post has RAF Flying Dales. Carbonite 2 and Taxat 5 are in position for dark vigilance, assume directional control, and update Windsor Tower on node 7 of Calliot frequency. So our RAF Flying Dales here is
Air Force.
The Royal Air Force.
no, it's the Five Eyes infrastructure in the United Kingdom.
Are you effing lying?
Holy smokes, dude. Is there
Okay.
anything that you haven't mapped?
So and its motto is Vigilimus, which means we are
You're
watching.
watching.
Oh my.
Okay. So RAF Flying Dales and Flying Dales probably in here if I go NIOD. So
It's insane.
Flying Dales is a part of the Five Eyes infrastructure, which these locations here, so they're all the same with these big radomes and that. And this Five Eyes, this is all very significant stuff because like this is the facility here in Australia. See the same thing with the radomes, but when you go and follow all their software and what they're using, it goes back to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, which is basically like the deep state parallel operating judicial system, which is running autonomously from the constitutional judicial system. And that's what's happening all with the secret government. So this is where all the Five Eyes and all that connects in with everything. So I just wanted to point that out. So RAF Flying Dales is a part of that Five Eyes infrastructure. Now, where is our...
Where's Seth
So
when you
many-
need him? It's all connected.
That's so many. of
Right?
these
He
maps.
needs a sign.
So what do you think? Do you think that was military legit communicating with one another?
I don't know. That's just the second post of this Glamis Calling. So there's a punchline to this. So let me keep going.
Okay.
So then on the second day, there was this Brazilian Congressional Committee. The World Governing Council supports impeachment for Dilma Rousseff. Marxist guerrillas do not. Good presidents make. Take note. And that all checks out. And then we've got Bohemian Grove Festival. Praises to Nikal. Sing
Bohemian
now the
Grove.
Hawaiian hymn. What's that?
Bohemian Grove. We know all about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. So it says now, sing now the Hawaiian hymn. So let me just go and
Good Lord.
Hawaiian hymn. Hawaiian songs are a collection of music written in cuneiform, the oldest script, like the oldest text on earth that we know of, on clay tablets excavated from the ancient city of Ugarit, a headland in northern Syria. So, like, this is some of the oldest known music, documented music. So again, I just wanted to just emphasize all of these things check out. So this is all in 2016. So then on 2017, October 27th.
Guys, listen to this. The first Q drop came on October 28th, 2017. So this is the day before Q posted.
There was this post. Windsor
No way.
Tower unleashed the
Are
storm.
you kidding me?
Begin posting and expect major impact. All shall awaken.
Oh my gosh.
Wait.
And
That
that's
is the-
you.
That is the
And
day
that-
before. It's the day before the first Q post.
Yeah, that's why I'm showing you.
Oh my God!
I tell you,
Oh my God!
I tell you, if people had to listen to me years ago, they would be
Oh
so
my
far ahead of
gosh.
where they're at now.
Yeah.
Oh my
Listen,
God.
I'm not new to online. I've just been ignored for years because everyone's too busy. Back when I was doing all this stuff, everyone was sitting there playing the Twitter slot machine, posting Trump train after Trump train, collecting followers like the statistics actually mean something.
Yeah.
And then a whole bunch of those people that did that got their numbers up, then they all started hanging together, and then they became the authority anons because they were seemingly the popular ones, and all they fucking did was hustle the Trump trade and slot machine.
Yep.
When people like me were actually doing real intelligence from day one.
Wow.
There is, I said it in your stream last night.
Yeah.
Now is the time for people to wipe their slates clean and come in with ears and a new set of eyes and start from the beginning. Because I can tell you right now with absolute confidence, a lot of this community has been asleep at the wheel and missed at least 50% of what was meant to be found.
Yep. I can see that. I can see that.
I'll admit it. I'm not even gonna pretend to know what you've uncovered.
That's
No.
amazing.
Stab, I said it last night, and I'm going to say it again for those who weren't on the thing last night. The Anon community, again, I'm gonna have to do it the way I did it last night. Excuse me. Humanity owes you a debt of gratitude. Not just the Anon community. Humanity is going to remember you, sir, for what you have done. You talk about building something for future generations. You have mapped literally every single thing that will tell the story and tell the truth. And like we discussed last night, you're going to put it all in the blockchain to where it's permanent on record. I mean, this is humanity owes you big time, sir.
Yeah.
God bless you.
And everything that I'm doing and with like my tech director that's helping me with, like, he built the websites, and we're going to put everything on the blockchain on the new Web3, which most people don't even know what Web3 is. Everything we're doing on the internet right now is Web2. And it's all centralized. It's all centralized on big servers all around the world. Web3 is decentralized. It's all the data is going to be spread amongst all of the users, all through blockchain format.
It's the future.
So we've already drafted to take all of this knowledge and put it on the blockchain and immortalize it. And we live in Western nations. I only speak English. I don't speak any other language other than a few basic words. But I've mapped all of the languages of the world, and we already have in our plans all of this data. We're going to translate it into every single language and put it all on Web3.
There's gonna be a movie, I'm telling you, and you're gonna be in it.
I at that point I would vanish and no one would see me again. I'm not interested in any of that.
I'm
I
saying
wanna
your
say
work
something
because
really
it's
quick.
incredible.
I think sometimes God keeps people hidden for a reason. And I think it's good that you've been hidden and working on this and that
Yep.
it's coming out at just the right time because
Yeah.
we would have been destroyed and we wouldn't have this now.
Yep.
So thank you.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It
I
is
wish
amazing.
I was trying to get a screenshot of that Windsor thing with the queue where it said, start whatever now. Yeah.
Can you put that on the public
No,
map?
I'm just gonna take a picture of it. That's all I need.
Here, I'll take a screenshot.
All right.
So here is the.
That's amazing.
I don't think I can post in the thing there. I'll send you a direct message of it.
That
Yeah, take a
absolutely
screenshot.
Yeah,
Or-
let me do that.
You before the queue.
That proves Q before Q.
Hang on a sec.
Okay.
Yeah, well, there were people that discredit it because they were like, "Oh, the WordPress website has this date on it," but like, you know what? Dates on websites change all the time,
Mhm.
and like, I've personally, I've never been a fan of the whole Anon movement because I've witnessed it from the beginning, and like I told you, I read the first Q post within 5 minutes of it being posted.
Yeah.
And I was mapping it this whole entire time, knowing at some point it's going to be more useful for one person to have centralized it all into a format where we can actually add all of the information to it versus 1,000 anons every week posting, "Oh, this is the delta for today," and all they do is copy and paste it. But it's like, okay, well, you've posted this eight years in a row now.
Mm-hmm.
What's the punchline? Have you answered any of the questions?
Right.
Have you identified any of the code elements? So I've always kind of shied away from it all because there honestly haven't been a lot of people that have really done in-depth analysis.
Right.
Majority of it's pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's pop culture, just like skateboarding and surfing kicked off in the like late 80s and the 90s when I was a little kid. Like when the hip hop kicked off, the hip hop music, it became pop culture. Politics right now is going through a pop culture stage. And there's a lot of identity politics associated with it. There's a lot of people that are really pro-Trump, and I'm not denouncing the pro-Trump bit, but they're very pro-Trump. But they can't hold a conversation on politics. They don't even understand politics. They don't understand the election process, but they'll jump online all day, every day. "Oh, the elections were rigged." Okay, so explain how they were rigged. What is the electoral process? And we're talking about all these presidents and senators and representatives in Congress. Name one person in your local government.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what county are you from?
Mm-hmm.
Like the complexity of understanding government is enormous. Politics isn't government. Politics is the sport of winning government positions.
Yeah.
And I say sport because the people competing for those positions are not coming into government because they want to use government for what government is supposed to be. They're using it for special interest groups outside of government.
Mm-hmm.
And the pop culture is playing into that formula. Boone Cutler and I used to talk about this all the time, how the people that think they're the most awake to this are the ones that are actually the most guilty of being siloed. And the internet has them exactly where you want to be because, yeah, you might have a couple 100,000 followers as a big Anon account.
Mm-hmm.
Go look how many followers Elon Musk has, and then work out what your following is as a percentage to his following.
Yeah.
His following is more reflective of how big the parameters of X are.
Right.
And when you understand the scope of those parameters, and then go look at what a couple of hundred, like 250,000 or 500,000 followers equals as a percentage within those parameters, it's negligible.
Mm-hmm.
But they only seem big because the algorithm has them siloed. This is a conversation I've had with Boone Kotler one-on-one on the phone numerous times. And he always used to say to me, he's just like, man, you are one of the few people that actually get it. And he was like, you know, I could go and read texts that he sent to me. And, you know, he was always saying, this is why I always take a step back from social media. Notice Boone has gone, but his social media accounts is still posting as much as when Boone was here, because Boone had a team running the account. And collectively, any one of them that hears what I'm saying now would be like, yeah, this guy actually did get to know Boone. Because our strategy as a group is that no one of us is going to spend all day on the internet. We're going to treat it like shift work, and we're just going to do an hour here, an hour there. The rest of the time, we're going to go out where there's sunshine and fresh air and our family and loved ones and walk our dogs and actually live in the real world. Mm-hmm. The pop culture around politics online has turned social media into magnets for people's attention and their bandwidth. And so many of these people are guilty of not getting out of the house and going and being a part of their community. You know?
Yep.
I know one of my local government members. I voted for him in the last election. I'm going to meet up with him after Christmas and go out and meet up and have lunch and talk about his future plans. Mm-hmm. He's an independent. He's not aligned to a political party. Last year, I was out in the middle of Australia in one of the most impoverished Indigenous areas of the country, and I encouraged my Indigenous friend to run for local government. My mom and I helped run her election campaign, and she was voted in as a member of her council. 2 weeks ago, she just got promoted to deputy mayor.
Wow.
You know, so like, look at what I do on the computer, you know, and this is why, like, I don't follow anyone on social media because I don't play on social media. And look at what I've done as an individual just on my computer, all by myself, just by staying away from the magnet and controlling my and I go out in the real world and do things. You know? It's like I'm not trying to denounce people. I'm just trying to give a wake-up call. I'm not giving black pills or red pills. I'm giving you a white pill with a bit of light in it. It's like you need to have a white pill and realize the world and life does not run on the internet. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's one of the biggest takeaway points people really need to wake up to moving forward.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Were you able to get that screenshot?
Oh, yeah. No, not yet.
Yeah, so, I will go in.
Man, that I got to say this real quick because I clip clips. So StreamYard clipped the last hour of this. So now it'll go and clip the last hour. So right. Hey, Grass, thank you so much for the raid over there on Rumble. I appreciate it. And I hope Baby Grass is still doing good. So appreciate you. Thank you, sir. And just put it on there. So, man. Woo.
That's incredible.
The Stav rant.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. And I loved it, man. I loved it.
No, can you click on that Windsor Tower Unleash the Storm? Can you like click on that so that thing comes back up again?
Yeah.
So I can see. That's what I wanted to, because I couldn't read it.
Oh, you want that thing?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just trying to here, I'm sending the screenshots to Josh and DM.
Okay.
And then I can just copy.
Can you send it to me too,
paste.
please?
I'll send it to you.
So where is this that they started posting at?
That
it's called Glamis Calling.
Glamis Calling. I'd
accessible
never
on
heard
the
of it
map?
before.
Is that accessible on your map that you have for everyone, or is that just on your own personal?
No, this is in the personal one, but here.
Yeah, because I was looking up Glamis Calling and I couldn't find it.
Here, I'm sending it to you, Digi. Okay.
Thank you.
That's pretty cool.
Y'all realize we've been on a live for 5.5 hours?
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yes.
And we just proved that outside of the QWOP, it was started the day before on Glamis Calling, and in the go order was given the day before, proving that this was an operation well in
And
the,
I
in the
thought
past.
I really did think, I'm just being honest, because I thought I had a pretty good grasp on this whole thing. And
Dude.
now I feel like an infant.
I know.
Well,
So much
Stab,
more to learn.
okay, but Stab did say you need to come in here and wipe the slate clean
We're
and
wiping
be open to the idea of starting over
Yeah.
and looking at this in a whole new way. And he's right. He's proven it for you.
And
Just
here
whatever
we
it is
go.
that we think we know, we don't know.
I'm right back to October 28th, 2017 now. I'm just like, it's like everything that I've ever learned is like,
Josh is like, whoops.
Can I ask a question? I hope it doesn't sound stupid, but for this Glamis Calling, am I to understand that was out of the UK? Was that out of the UK?
Yeah, it does seem UK centric.
So all
like-
of this before Q posting. So this is showing that this is worldwide,
well, it said, the
Yeah,
Q
well,
post said it's
you-
worldwide.
right?
Well,
Yeah.
you-
police worldwide, yeah.
You saw on the examples I gave you, like the very first post was about the space flight center in India.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
India was the first country, and then it has Bohemian Grove, and then it has cuneiform written hymns before there was even damn countries anywhere.
Right.
This was the cradle of civilization.
Wow.
So the Glamis Calling thing is like it's not just like worldly as we see the world we live in now. It's historical.
Wow.
It's biblical.
And there's a whole bunch of random stuff in there. So yeah.
We got a whole new
It says-
website to dig on now,
It says
guys.
begin, but that's just pretty cool. It says begin posting and expect major impact. All shall awaken.
All shall awaken. Yeah.
Wow.
That is so
Wow.
cool.
That's amazing.
And I lost the article, but one of the very first Q news articles had that exact same Q in it.
Wow.
Are you serious?
That metallic looking Q. Yeah, I lost it and I tried to find it again and I couldn't find it.
Yeah. I know
But it
how
had that exact same Q in it. It was one of the first things because remember I started mapping Q in December of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't difficult for me to go back through the news articles at the time and save them all. And I was saving them all the way along. And then also too, with the post ID numbers and the trip codes at the time, if you put them into Google Books, they were bringing up all of these books, and a lot of the books had relationship with lines in the Q posts. You can still do it now, but it's all been bastardized because people realized, if I embed in the metadata of the book, I can get my thing to come up in the Google book search. So then people started plagiarizing it. And some of the people that plagiarized it were people who were selling books on the topic of Q, which I believe were disinformation books.
Yeah.
Right.
Because these are people that hyped it all, built an audience, wrote some books, made some money, and then just disappeared. And we've never seen them again.
Yeah.
So I just noticed something on Glamis Calling. There is a section that's called Windsor Tower, Prepare for the Storm. And it said it was a post from 8/31/2017. And it says Initiative Q is approved by Glamis in the upper chamber. Prepare post for Winter Felleth 28 on Channel 4 Q. Let me share my screen real quick.
All right. Show the clip.
What?
Show the picture of what he just said. That clip, you clipped it.
Oh, I'm going to get to that, honey.
Okay, well, y'all remember that because
Yeah, just remember this, what we just said, because we're going to be going over it.
yeah, we've got a picture of it to show you.
Sorry, I didn't go over the show with Tracy before.
Yeah,
we
well,
started,
I was like, pause it. I want to show that picture.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll get to that.
All right.
All right, let's keep going, guys.
What do we think that's about? I mean, Channel 4 could be like 4chan, right? But
Yeah, Channel 4, 4chan. There you go.
There you
You
go.
just did it. Holy shit, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
What
yeah.
in the?
4chan. Yep.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Channel 4.
Yeah, it says, and this post is from 8/31/2017 on Glamis Calling. It says Initiative Q is approved by Glamis in upper chamber. Prepare post for Winterfell 28 on Channel 4. Q.
Yep.
Okay, so what? Excuse me. What is Glamis Calling? What is it?
Well, okay, so here, let me let me bring the map back up.
Okay.
sorry.
Is it like a chat board or?
The upper chamber is probably the Wizards and Warlocks. Somebody asked in the
Yeah, maybe.
chat.
Maybe.
You would have seen like heard in your stream how I commented several times like I don't open my mouth with theories because I'm still piecing it all together. And you see why I keep my mouth shut. It's just like, no, I'm just going to share with you what I pieced together. You can run off with it and do come up with whatever
do you care
theory
if we
you
run
want.
off with this? Do you care if we
do what
take
you
off
want.
with
I don't
this?
care.
Holy crap! I can't wait to get on X tomorrow.
Yeah, you are something else. Something else. I love it.
X is, I mean, I agree with Stav about X, but I mean, how else do you get the message out to the most people though?
Well,
Yeah.
as long as we continue to do what we've done from day one, and that is put God first and truth always. As long as we stay focused and committed to that, we're not going to be that statistic that Stav is referring to, where people are just out there slinging shit all over social media to try to attract followers. We just need to keep focusing on truth.
Right.
So I just found another post from 5/6/2018 on Glamis Calling. It says, Swamp Striders on the move. Prepare to bleed. Cold Silence Protocol is invoked until heavens break. And let me go. Let's look up the deltas for 5/6/2018, okay? On the cue board.
Well, I'm going to go take another smoke break.
Okay. I can't go to sleep. Didn't
amazing.
Trump just say
gonna
that
sleep
we're not
tonight.
going to be able to go to sleep tonight?
We're gonna
Is
be
that-
up all night digging. It's a digging slumber party.
Stav doesn't care. It's like middle of the
daytime,
afternoon
yeah.
over there.
You don't have
Dad's
dinner?
like, I got dinner in a couple hours.
Wow.
This is so amazing.
This is incredible.
Yeah, put the map up on the.
Oh, yeah,
Screen?
yeah, yeah. Sorry, Staff. There you go. I'm digging
So
too.
this here, Glamis is a small village in Angus, Scotland,
That
located
explains-
All right, guys, did you just hear that? Where that was based out of? Scotland. You see Julie's face right there. What did we just trace Trump back to? What does he call himself? Q plus. So let's keep going. It's almost done.
5 miles.
everything. He's from
Isn't that where
Scotland.
Trump is from?
Yes, yes. Oh my God.
Retarded.
Oh,
Okay.
Retarded.
Okay, so now here,
Oh my
Oh, you
gosh.
did his lineage. I remember hearing that yesterday, where you had
You did his lineage.
You weren't 100%.
Gla-
but you,
Glamis-
like, mapped it out.
yeah, Glamis Castle has been the home of the Lion family since the 14th century.
Oh,
It was the childhood home of the late Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. Her second daughter, Princess Margaret, was born there.
oh my god.
Castle Rock, baby. I
I
gotta
know.
go to the bathroom, guys.
I don't even know what to say right now. Oh my gosh.
All right, so that was it, ladies and gentlemen, on that file there. So give me just 1 second, and I will get the chat back up on the screen here. There we go.
That was just so y'all know. You and I, we were on our way to pick up a pizza, and Trump posted something. He was on a posting spree. There was some reason we decided we were going to go live. I had no makeup on hardly, and we did this for what, 6 hours?
Yeah,
6
yeah, it was a 6-hour
hours.
show. That was Tracing
Oh,
Justice.
it was when the Epstein files got released, wasn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah, that was the next day actually.
So we, I don't know. Anyway, it was just like a 6-hour dig. Yeah. And so that's why we were a little bit informal, because we had been on there for 6 hours. And so anybody that was still watching, they were digging in with us. We didn't care. You know, we weren't being official. We were just kind of hanging out with everybody.
So, Freedom, before we go to you, I do want to show a couple little things right here, okay? So, if you go right here, this is what we were looking at, guys, on glamouscalling.com. Initiative Q is keep in mind, again, this is August 31st, 2017, okay? All right. So, Q posted 10/28/2017.
For the first time. Yeah.
Initiative Q is approved by Glamis in the upper chamber. Prepare post for Winterfelleth 28 on Channel 4. Okay, you're asking, okay, well, what's Winterfelleth? Winterfelleth is an Anglo-Saxon or Old English name for the month of October. It marked and celebrated the beginning of winter.
So that means October. Winter Flyleth is October. So it says, prepare post for Winter Flyleth 28 on Channel 4. Now pull up the first drop.
Hold on just a second. And then this one is the day before, October 27th. Begin posting and expect major impact. All shall awaken. And now, just like Tracy wanted, Q post 0. 10/28/2017. Hillary Clinton will be arrested between 7:45 and 8:30 Eastern Standard on Monday, the morning of October 30th, 2017.
Yep. So go back to it, please.
Okay.
Thank you. So Winter Flyleth, October, right? And it said the 28, Channel 4.
Yep, on 4chan.
You see all that right there. October 28, 4chan.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, Tracy, what do you got for us? What do you think about it?
Well, I mean, it's interesting. I don't know. It's quite significant. I'm not discrediting that. Stav is a pretty intelligent person, and if you've ever paid attention to what he does, he digs and he finds out. He's not going to put up in or include in his map anything that he can find or poke holes in. So he's done his research on this.
Yep.
And if it's significant enough for him to point out to us, it's quite significant. It seems really, really legit to me. It's blown my mind since then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Freedom Fire, what you got?
Oh, I got a lot.
Go for it.
I got a lot because I'm a nerd. So and I'm always into this, anything that Stav looks up and stuff. And I did the same thing. I had already looked into it too. I didn't actually find the mapped satellites, but I knew they were satellites. I found that much on it. I knew that what those those posts were referring to satellites. I didn't have them mapped like he did, but
Right.
I did know that much. But I'll go a step further because I am nerdy. Everybody knows I love to read. And for me, when I heard Glamis Calling, immediately my mind went to Shakespeare and Macbeth, which immediately goes to that. And it is super cool because, we already know that the historical lane goes into Scotland on that. And it's the ancestral seat of the Earls of Strathmore. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's tied to the Bowes-Lyon family, which is the Queen of England, right? We're going into like the Queen Mother and all that, which he talks about, Elizabeth and the Queen Mother. And so it goes all the way back to like 1370s. And that specific place is associated with Shakespeare's Macbeth. So, sorry, I'm looking at my file because I have all this stuff, and it really. So the Macbeth Lane is very symbolic, and it talks about in Macbeth, the witches greet him as Thane of Glamis, then Thane of Cawdor, then King hereafter. That is the prophecy ladder in that story, and that's how it's talked about: title, promotion, crown. Glamis is the first rung. It means the call has begun, not the end state. The Scotland archaeology source notes that Shakespeare gave Macbeth the Glamis title, but the historical Macbeth was not actually tied to Glamis Castle. But here's where it gets interesting, right? So the Glamis calling is like the opening summons before the power transition. So when you pull it all into with like Trump, because at first I'm like, okay, now we're talking about witches. That's, you know, because I mean, I've read Macbeth, you know, I had to read it like in high school. But here's the thing. Glamis is not the crown. Glamis is the call. In Macbeth, the first title confirms identity. The second title confirms movement. The third promise tempts the seizure of power. So when someone says Glamis calling, the decode is not the king is here. It is the prophecy sequence has started. So I had to go back and like really look through the book because, you know, we're talking, it's Shakespeare, right?
Right.
So when you think about it in Trump lanes, you have the documented tie is the Trump Scottish bloodline. We know his mother, Mary Ann MacLeod Trump, was born in Tong, the Isle of Lewis in Scotland, raised in Gaelic-speaking household, immigrated in the 1930s. That puts Trump's maternal line directly in Scottish ancestral crown aristocratic symbol lane, though not specifically Glamis Castle itself. But we do know that he has the emphasis on that heritage and that there is some type of crown royalty. So when you're thinking about seizure of power and that first rung and the witch is calling, I'm like, they're not talking about Trump. They're talking about somebody who obviously skipped over that family, right? The witch is called, they went over his family and they took fake power. That's in my mind. That's how I'm thinking it. Okay. So the Glamis Macbeth tie is literally and symbolically not genealogical because that wasn't theirs to take. So Glamis Castle is strongly associated with Shakespeare's Macbeth, and Glamis Castle itself markets the connection as part of historical 19 in the play. Macbeth begins as Thane of Glamis, then is told he will become Thane of Cawdor, then king hereafter. That is why Glamis calling reads like a signal phrase for the beginning of a throne sequence. Identity confirmed, next title unlocked, crown prophecy activated. So if someone is tying Trump to him, likely run this way. Trump is a Scottish bloodline figure. Glamis is the first rung of Macbeth's crown prophecy. Calling means the sequence has been active. In other words, the phrase would not mean Trump is Glamis, literally. It means Trump is being framed through the Macbeth architecture. Scotland prophecy, crown usurpation, meaning somebody skipped over him, kingship, betrayal, restoration, and the cost of power. That is a symbolic machine. And that totally made sense to me after that.
Wow.
Think about that. Because that is the story of Macbeth.
Yeah. Wow.
So them calling that Glamis is calling and everything starting around that castle in Scotland, in that area. Think about that. I mean, it like gives me the chills when I start putting that together.
Yeah, as Grasshopper always said, look, I got chills. He did. But yeah, that is so crazy. So, you know.
So to me, it feels like Trump as the figure entering the old crown, he's exposing the witches. Because really, I mean, Glamis would be like the old Scottish crown door. Right. The witches are the handlers, right? They're the programmers. The crown is the sovereign power. Trump is the disruptor, entering the script, forcing the hidden prophecy machine into public. So does that make sense to you guys? Because that totally makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense to me too.
You got anything to build off of that?
Nope, not on that. No.
Thank you for unpacking that for us.
For real.
That's I would have never
I mean,
thought.
that's what I would see. I mean, that's how I see it, especially when you're mapping it. And he mapped it out so strategically and so amazing. And he's showing all those areas. Like I said, when I was seeing it to begin with, I'm like, okay, I figured out that they were satellites, but not where they were. Not like he did.
Right.
But then I'm like, Glamis. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, okay, Shakespeare's Macbeth. This totally makes sense. The story.
Yeah.
And there's actually a part that talks about the storm is upon us. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is it.
Well, and you know, I do want to throw in this too, because in that video, you know, it's kind of worldwide. This whole operation, because if you really think about it, you know, Trump wouldn't be able to do this on his own without help from other nations, would he?
No, absolutely not.
In your opinion,
Right. Agreed. That's
So
why the capitulation tour was important too.
yeah, and so that's why Russia's so important. That's why China's so important, is because we needed their help. And guys, I'm not telling you that Glamis calling is 100% legit, but there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
there is certainly a lot to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's
It
quite
makes
significant.
sense. The story itself, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Even though it's Shakespeare, obviously, so it's, you know, it's we're just talking about a story, but the story itself has to have some type of a regional tie, like all stories do. So it makes sense the way the story is laid out. There has to be some historical truth to it, although it is a story, right?
Yeah.
So, but I agree with you guys 100%. They have to have the support of other people around the world, because to think that we are the only nation that is going through the things that we're going through right now is silly. Obviously, this has been done for generation after generation all around the world by the same bloodline families, if you will, right? The same things have happened. So, no, totally makes sense.
Well, we're going to go ahead and skip to our next section. And this is probably one of the most important sections of this whole thing. So we're going to go back a day before we talked about Glamis calling, where we talked about the Q op and how it came to be in 4chan. Okay, so I know there's a lot of confusion about this, but Stav really lines it out for you. You know, we know Q is not one single entity. Okay, we know that. And he proves it with the Q team actually seeding in the Q narrative the day of before Q actually posted. So let's go ahead and watch this video that Stav breaks it all down for us, how Q got narrative seeded into the chans.
I'll do it that way. Okay, so 4chan poll was the first board, 2017 October, and then October 28. This here is the beginning of the Q. This is the day one. And what I've done, what I recognized is that the conversation, the Q conversation did not start from one person. There was a team of people that seeded the conversation building up to the first post. And what I've done is I've color-coded. It started with this first post by someone that identified themselves as Mueller Investigation Anonymous. And they posted, "Why are all the Fox anchors smiling? CNN, MSNBC, NBC are freaking out like election night." Okay, so if we go and identify the ID of that post, well, all of the posts in red is all the same person. So what I did is I went and mapped all this out. You know what? It's actually, I just realized. So I've got here. Oh, look, I've already got it set up here. So let me expand this. So I mapped all this out. And when you start reading the conversation, you start understanding the origins of Q, because there is a bit of a backstory in the conversation. It wasn't just one post. And I think this is going to help contextualize to people, oh, what is this Q thing? Okay, so when someone asks a question, you've got to identify all the elements: who, what, when, where, why. So where? It was on 4chan. So we give the explanation. There's these online messaging boards where basically people go and shit post and shit talk from anything from video games to porn to politics, you know? And they usually get a bad rap, but within these websites, there are serious conversations. So this is a political forum. So we've answered the question, where did it come from? And then we asked the question, well, how did it come about? Well, it came about because there was a person posted, why are all the Fox anchors smiling? CNN, NBC, like I just read out. And then that same person has posted, with a picture of the guy with his headset. And in his previous post, he's got Sean Hannity image. And in the next one, he's got the image of this guy. So he's kind of like talked to himself there, or themself. I don't know if it's a him or a her. And then we start having just the organic part of the conversation, because for some reason Fox was the mainstream news outlet that joined the light workers, probably because universal law has a humor clause. Because Fox is made up of actual journalists where the others push a narrative, Fox has nothing to lose unless Trump is personally impeached, which would never happen. And we go through there, but the same person comes up again. And again, they've got an image. And they say, Mueller now investigating Democratic lobbyist Tony Podesta, Washington. Tony Podesta and the Podesta Group are now the subjects of federal investigation being led by special counsel Robert Mueller. 3 sources of knowledge of the matter told NBC News. The probe of Podesta and his Democratic-leaning lobbying firm grew out of Mueller's inquiry into finances of former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort. According to the sources, as special counsel, Mueller has been tasked with investigating possible collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. So you see, even before the very first Q post, by reverse engineering the conversation, they already laid the foundation for the topic of what most of the Q thing is about. And I haven't seen a lot of people, if any, really recognize this. So continuing, Manafort had organized a public relations campaign for a non-profit called European Center for a Modern Ukraine. So there's the Ukraine in here. Podesta's company was one of many firms that worked on the campaign, which promoted Ukraine's image of the West. The sources said the investigation into Podesta and his company began as more of a fact-finding mission about the ECMU and Manafort's role in the campaign, but has now morphed into a criminal inquiry into whether the firm violated the Foreign Agents Registration Act known as FARA. So you can see just this one person has already seeded the foundation for the whole discussion that the Q is backed off.
Right.
You know, and a lot of
right?
Yeah.
What you say? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And most of these things are discussed in the Q, but they're all scrambled out. This one person, this is all the same person so far. This one person has laid the foundation for, like, if you're going to explain the story of Q and what it's about, you've got to understand this conversation, because it talks about the Podestas. It even references Ukraine, you know, so you got to lay that foundation. So I am going to tell the story like you're asking, and it's going to be based off of here. This is where it started. Because most people just go straight to post number 1 and, it started when they said Hillary Clinton's going to be arrested. And then it's like, well, I don't see evidence of her being arrested, and it's been 8 years, so you just sound like a conspiracy theorist, and I'm not going to take you serious. You know?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Josh.
So Steph, you are probably correct with what you said. I don't think anybody has ever backtraced it like you just demonstrated prior to the drops, where the story or the narrative was actually created beforehand. So I would say what you just said is probably an accurate statement, because I don't know of anyone in the Anon community that has done that. So I agree with what you're saying. one of the things that for me personally has been probably one of the most mind altering aspects of the whole Q movement for me to ever wrap my mind around, which is ironically enough what my Substack is called and what my Rumble channel is all about, and that is what Q said 51 times about the future proves past. Can you map future proves past in this?
Well, I think the future proves past is I think a lot of that is based around like what Josh and I were discussing just before with, say like Scavino posts aligning with dates and timestamps. Like if this was a conceived operation and they knew certain events were going to play out, and people that were privy to knowing what was going to play out knew that at certain times, at certain dates, if we share certain information, that's going to correlate with past information put in the Q narrative. I feel like that's where a lot of the basis of the future proves past. But also, too, from what I've learned in everything I've done, there's never seems to be one answer to a Q element. There seems to be like multiple like layers to one element. So like when you're exercising critical thinking, you just basically never have a defined opinion. You're always ready to flex either way, but you kind of stick with the facts and find that happy medium in the middle. With what you're saying, like I think that's what a lot of that is based on, is the insiders doing perhaps these Q proofs in the future. And again, like look at what this one person in all the red here, the FBI's role in regards to Fusion GPS and the Russian investigation needs to be investigated, which is why the Wall Street Journal's editors believe Mueller should step aside. They're talking about a lot of big topics here, and a lot of these big topics haven't been completed. They're still in play, even though they might have radio silence. There's likely judicial process. It made reference at the beginning. There's investigation into the Podestas, but we haven't seen anything on mainstream media about the Podestas, right?
Right.
So what if in 2026 Podesta investigation comes into the media cycle? And then it's like, oh, well, that conversation on the first day of the Q post was talking exactly about this. So then you've got that future proofs past kind of element, right?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I believe Stab is exactly correct, because certain things, I'm trying to word this correctly. If you, just like you said, if you know the ending to the movie, and you've got all the information, hence we have it all, you can drive the storyline. And by releasing certain informations at certain times triggers certain events. And that's how future proves past. It's not that Trump has 100% control of everything that happens, just like LT and I were talking about one time, and we know on an episode, guys, if you think there's full control, you try controlling 5 children in a house.
Yeah.
Guys, it doesn't work like that. Stab is breaking it down right here for you. He inadvertently, he is destroying this whole full control narrative right now. It's because we have all the information, and certain information released at certain times will trigger events. Hence, future proves past.
That's the script. That's when they're talking
That's
about
the script, people.
because of that. But I wanted to say something to you, Stab. So, I didn't go back past the first drop 0, whatever. But you know how on all the drops that you have all the IDs that Q is responding to, right? He includes all of those, right? And so I've gone into each of those and then gone back further, right? You can click on one and then it takes you back. and you can follow the conversation that way. I have done
Yeah.
that, but I never took I never took it this level to where you've got the same ID and you're following that one person's and you can see that they injected that intentionally. That is amazing.
Yeah, so I'll zoom out as far as I can. So this is why I color coded it, so we can see just from the colors.
Yeah.
So it started with the person in the red.
Yeah.
So see red, 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 red. And then the person in the yellow was the Hillary Clinton will be arrested between 7:45 and 8:30 a.m. That was the one that the Q references, but that Q post is down here in the orange. But look at this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of the same person. So let's read through these in order. So Hillary Clinton will be arrested, da da da. And then someone asks, who are you? Who are you? And then someone's posted a meme and they say rolling. And then the yellow has replied, no need to roll. And then replied to the second question. It doesn't matter who we are. What matters is our plan.
Wow.
Huh?
Guys, you got to remember what he just read right there was before the first Q drop. Okay? I want you to really hammer that home in your brain that there was these two individuals that was seeding in the Q narrative before Q even posted. And this happened the same day.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, Q, trust the plan, trust the plan. They already said the plan before the first Q post. Okay? So you see why I feel like there was a team of 3 people. Like, well, it could have all been the same person, but made to appear like 3. There was the Mueller investigation person, so they weren't anonymous. This yellow one was anonymous. So and then someone's asked, what's the plan? And they just replied, winning. Stay out the plans. You sound like a bad LARP. Why should we think you're legit? I really do not care if anyone wants to believe it is a LARP, nor do I have any interest in proving my legitimacy. Just wait until Monday morning for the answer to your questions, as it is only 40 hours from now. So the answer to your questions. And then what is the Q thing? It's full of questions. So I don't think that line is necessarily like contextualizing the response to that person. It's laying bait on the riddle and the formula of what you're to do, answer the questions and that.
Yeah.
So then, are the full JFK files going to actually come out? Will Podesta be outed? So then we have the Q post, but then the red person has come back in. FBI has been directed by Faggot Hoover, then Deep Throat. FBI was BTFO by Whitey Bulger. Mueller and Comey are of that lineage. The JFK files held back even more dirt on FBI. And where are we at with the FBI right now? I think Anna Paulina just signed to put the JFK files into the National Archives and make them publicly accessible. So this is the Q team here talking about the JFK files. So the person asking about the JFK files could well have been a part of the team.
Yeah.
I just haven't gone and
I feel like they were. I've 100%. It's too convenient. You've got them asking the right question or giving the right amount of information
right
at the
it
right
wasn't
time.
It wasn't an organic 4chan. They went in there knowing we've got to hijack these boards and make it look organic, but we're controlling the narrative start to finish.
Yes.
So if I could touch on what you brought up, Josh, about full control. Looking at this through a systems dynamic lens, meaning that you just zoom out and look at the system in totality. Any good strategy, especially something of this caliber, has automatic adjustments built into it. Full control is never a goal because there's just too many moving parts to even contemplate having full control over every moving part. But when you create a system that's trying to take down another system or write that system, it has to sit on top of it, so to speak, right?
Mhm.
It has to guide it, and it has to be able to have internal controls that are smart enough using feedback that you can adapt to any change that they might put in the system to try to thwart your efforts.
Mhm.
So it's a living, breathing based on feedback strategy that allows quick pivots as fast as possible to get ahead of them. Right.
Mhm.
And then we talk about Operation Warp Speed, speeding this whole thing up at a pace that gets them not to be able to keep up. Right. So it's full control, but not in the truest sense of, they control literally everything deep state does. It's just, that's impossible. Like you
Right.
said about the 5 kids, right?
Mhm.
You can control the container that you're raising them in,
Mhm.
but you can't control their specific behavior because free will always exists, right?
Yeah.
What do you think, guys? Tracy?
It's mind blowing. It is, but you got to go and do that digging. You got to look. Somebody was asking, but you can still go to stavconnects.com and get to his website. He's not on X right now.
He told
But-
me he took down his map.
You think he took down its map?
He told me he did.
Um,
I'm
Well,
looking.
I can still see it. That's all I know. Like right here, he's got all this stuff. I don't know. We'll have to look and see. But nonetheless, it's mind blowing. That is pretty mind blowing. And are you going to show him what you showed me earlier?
Yeah, I was wanting to let Freedom talk real quick though
Okay.
about her thoughts. On it all.
USAID Payne said that he's taken it down. The public map is down.
Yeah.
Okay. Which sucks because he's got a
It
lot
does.
of good stuff. He had stuff that wasn't public only because he hasn't put it over there yet. But
Right.
a lot were. But you can go and see this stuff for yourself. It's not going to be mapped, but you can go and
Right.
see this. You can go to the boards and you can see these things.
That's definitely how I
It's-
learned. That's what I told Josh is that, since I wasn't there when it happened, that's how I had to learn is actually,
Yeah.
I didn't just click on a drop. I wanted to click on, I'd click on everything. And then I went back and read all the conversations to put context with it. Because if you don't do that, you really don't know
understand.
what was going on.
That's
no,
exactly
at all.
right.
You're just
You
looking at a drop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're just reading the drop and you don't get the context of it. That's why there's so much confusion. And honestly, a lot of people that are in our movement, some big names,
Big names.
they weren't there for all that.
They weren't.
They don't get it. And then they go and tell
Right.
what it's about and they're misleading people. And and if you call them out, oh, that's infighting and you're just jealous and
All I'm saying is, ladies and gentlemen, yeah,
we're just trying to help you
Yeah.
to see how
Right.
for yourself. Go look for yourself. You've got working brains. You can see this. Like it's not hard to understand when you do the work, when you take the time and you see. Then it explains so much.
yeah, Freedom and Tracy, everybody kind of wants to make up their own narrative. They'll want to pull a post out to fit their narrative. Oh, that's what it means. That's what it means. But ladies and gentlemen, you have to go back to the chants. If you don't understand something, you don't know what was going on the boards at the time, you
Right.
have to go back to the source and look at the conversation, because sometimes Q was actually talking back to us and confirming stuff to us and asking more questions. And there, you have to pick up on some of the stuff that was in those conversations.
Absolutely.
But what's happened is you've got a lot of these, what I call second generation Anons, that have come in to the movement, and all they know is QAG. All they know is Q alerts. They never actually went to the chants.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but what I'm saying is that sometimes when you don't have the context of what was going on,
You miss it.
you miss exactly what Q
And you
was trying to point
misunderstand.
out at the time.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
And case in point, the whole JFK Jr. drop. Okay. Guys, I was there.
Right.
I was there. What was happening is there was such a divide in our movement about JFK Jr. being alive. Okay, listen, I don't know if he's alive or not. Okay, I'm not even going there. But I will tell you this. During that time, the community was so divided over effing JFK Jr. being alive that it was such a distraction that Q was hosting a Q&A on the Chans. Q addressed that question for a reason. And Anon asked, Q, is JFK Jr. alive? Q responds, no. No. Now, is he actually alive? I don't know. If you think he's alive, that's great. LT has given me a lot of information on JFK Jr. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. But what Q was trying to let us know is, guys, you're focusing on the wrong things. Let's move on from that garbage. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do next is, before we move on, do you have any more comments or anything
Someone
like that?
said, what are the Chans?
Okay, so that's what we're fixing to go into, because, ladies and gentlemen, QAG and Q Alerts is not where Q posted.
Right.
Those are just what they call scraper programs.
An aggregate.
Yeah, an aggregator. Yep, it's exactly right. So what it does is that program, that QAG, scans the Chans and pulls out the Q post and gives it to you in a numbered sequence.
And it's a wonderful tool.
Yeah, it's a very wonderful tool that
Yes.
where you don't go back digging.
And all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
What you need to know, though, is how to get there and how to navigate through there a little bit. So I saw a question about, well, we don't know if the first, 60 or something drops are real because Q didn't have that signature on it. Okay, now you see what Stav said, that there was multiple people posting in narrative seeding the Q drops, okay, or the Q to come in and start dropping. And I'm going to show you something neither one of you all probably know, and I haven't told you either one of you all this, so I'm going to disclose this here in a little bit. But going back to what Stab said, he's like, hey, there's like 3 people narrative seeding this thing in the Chans before Q started posting. Let's look at this. Q posts 60. You can count on the people who have the full picture on 2 hands. Of those, less than 10 people, only 3 are non-military. Why is that relevant? Game theory. Outside of who have permission, operators never divulge Alice in Wonderland. The big thing in there is 3 non-military. We had 3 people on the Chans narrative seeding before Q even started.
But that doesn't mean that was them.
I don't know.
I mean, they could
I'm not saying it is.
They could have been military people narrative seeding too. I mean, you don't know.
It could have been.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into the Chans, you need to know what Q is. Okay. Q is a security clearance with the Department of Energy. It is the highest security clearance that you can have in the United States government. Okay. Now, Q started posting when all of the information about Uranium-1 started coming out. Who would have had information to all of that intel about our uranium and nuclear things going on? The Q Patriot. Q is specifically designated for the Department of Energy. So are you following me, people? Does that make sense to you, Freedom? Does that make sense to you, Tracy?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's important to know that, because if you had all the information about the Uranium-1, A leads to B, leads to C, leads to D. Okay. So I believe that this information started coming out through the Q because it had access to the Department of Energy where now we're coming to uranium-1 and the nuclear dust. Trump's wanting this nuclear dust. Why? Because it's going to trace back to Hillary Clinton, which ultimately traces back to Barack Hussein Obama.
It's called nuclear forensics.
Yeah, exactly. Nuclear forensics. I was looking for the word. Thank you. So that now you see why we're kind of doing the show right now is because this is going to come into. He said Q was a real thing too. Okay.
You have to, read it. It says, I know a retired executive level intel that told me JFK was shot by the driver among 3 other shooters.
Yeah, when you go back and look at those videos, he's definitely shot by the driver. Absolutely.
And that also explains why she crawled to the back of the car to get out.
Yeah, and she's trying to
She
get
didn't
away.
try to go through, what she went out to try to go to the back. Anyway, not to sidetrack, but anyway.
Yeah, good thing. So let's go back to the Chans now, and here's how we're going to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going back. We're going to use QAG. That's the simplest way I know to tell you to get there. Okay. So if you look right here, it's post 0. And here, let me increase my screen size. Whoops. Sorry about that, guys. Hold on just 1 second. All right, so we're back. And, all right, so everybody can see here. Now, I want you to pay attention to this because you're going to need to know this information if you want to go back through the Chans.
That's why I said get a notebook for this stuff.
Let's get a notebook. Let's really pay attention to this section right here, guys, okay? So you see this ID right here. Q didn't have a trip code yet, and we'll get to what a trip code is here in just a little bit. So you could tell that it was a different person by the ID that they were posting under. So if you see right here, Q dropped 0, this ID of GB953QGL. But then you come down to post number 1, it's a different identifier. And another. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
but
different.
Here you've got a different identifier, and it's the same as we come down until we get to post 6. And there's a new user posting now. So what I'm trying to tell you is that Q is not one person. Never was one person. This is my theory, is that Q is a AI intelligence program that 10 or less have access to. Because if you look at these drops, there is no way one human could actually, there's no way Dan Scavino could even write all these things the way that they're laid out. Does that make sense, Freedom Fire?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, you keep on scrolling down through the post right here. And guys, I know you want to get through these posts, but to operate first. See, now you've got one of the most consequential Q post out there is Q post 14. And we're back. Top here, the G. No, they started posting on Q post 14. So if we keep going down here, you see the same person is posting. And what you're going to find out is these different identifiers, these people that are posting have different subject matters. They're different operators that are dialed in to the plan specific to their information. So chat, are you looking at the drops a little different now? It's so much more than QAG because I'm going to get to that. So if we keep going down through here, this ID posted for some time, but then we get down to post, I think it is 60. So we go to page number 2. Let me just go to page or drop 60. Then you go to drop 60, Now, it might be 61. Yeah. Drop 61 is actually the first post that was labeled Q.
As a signature.
Yes, as a signature. That's important. So that Q finally as Q. But then we come to post 128. This is the first time you'll ever see this right here. Let me increase my screen real quick so you guys can see this. Okay, here's that ID right there. So we got a new user now. Okay, this is another new user into the Q program. But here's the Q, what they call trip code. It's the first time that the trip code is used. And this Q post 128 was establishing what they called the map. All the previous drops and crumbs were put into what Q called a map. And that's post 128. So what you're going to find out is as you go past post 128, you will see the same trip code is what we're talking about right here. Okay? But you're going to see multiple users it is. There we go. We are back. Sorry about that, guys. So where was I? So
Are they frozen? See what happens.
there we go. Guys,
Oh,
I don't
there you
know
are.
what's going
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my
Sorry.
internet. This is supposed to be like the latest and greatest internet, so I don't know what's going on. But
Let's try again.
so the Q trip code was you had to input a password that not even the board owner knew to let everybody know, hey, this is the Q team posting. It had. So let's go back to see what we're talking about here. So what I did is you see where it says on the screen on drop 0 in blue 147005381. You click on that and it will take you to the chans. This is the message board that Q posted on. Q did not post on QAG and Q alerts and all that. Posted on 4chan. Okay, so it's very, very important that you know that, because if you're just coming into the view of only looking at the Q drops on this QAG program, you're going to think about Q very differently. You're going to think that it's a standalone thing, but it's not. All right, so you remember me telling you about that unique identifier. Hillary Clinton will be arrested between 7:45 and 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday morning, October 30, 2017. You see this identifier right here. Okay, so I'm going to copy it, and we're going to go all the. Okay, that's where Stav was talking about the Mueller investigation anon. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into the search in 4chan, and we're going to put in that unique identifier that I just copied from the first Q post. And we're going to search. We're going to check all. We're going to search. Now, what that does is that gives you that user that was unique to the Q post, their post alone
Everything they
within
posted.
the Q post. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Everything that user has posted.
So here's the interesting part is that this poster, not all of these posts are recorded on QAG as official Q drops, which I find very puzzling. Why?
Because there's the Hillary Clinton will be arrested one, which is 0, correct?
Yeah. So my question is, Freedom Fire, this identifier that was used, and we categorize that as the first Q post, but that's the only one with that unique identifier on QAG and Q alerts and all that. Why aren't the rest of these posts in these aggregate programs?
Right.
Because you remember in the video, Stab was reading that conversation.
Yeah.
And he said, like, you see that, I really do not care if anyone wants to believe it is a LARP, nor do I have any interest in proving my legitimacy. Just wait until Monday morning for the answer to your question. Da, 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 da.
Right.
So, this wasn't considered it's not included on QAG and Q alerts and as Q post, right? But it's the same identifier.
See right here, this identifier. So why is this user, all of their posts within the Q board, not in the Q drops?
Pretty interesting, huh? Copy the next one.
Okay, so let's go to the next one. You can actually do this right here. You can copy the ID from QAG right here, okay? And let's go back to the chans. And we're going to put that identifier in here under unique ID. And we're going to hit search. So this gives you, again, from Q drop number 1, we took that ID of that user and plugged it into the search tool in the chans, and it gives you the 2 drops where that user posted. And here's my thing is, guys, how do we know this was the Q team? Because they didn't have a Q, they didn't have the
trip code.
Trip code, yeah, thank you.
At the time.
Thank you. They didn't have a trip code at the time. And they weren't signing as Q. So who made the determination that this was the Q team? Very interesting question. What do you think?
Well, here's my thing. So, again, I go back to, I just wrote it, I did a Substack on this, but so we keep circling that, but we go back to signatures, right?
Yep.
And that is actually something that we keep circling it, but it's in a document lane, and it really is something to do with not just the ID, but the actual signature. So once it starts getting signed as Q, that's when it becomes Q.
Well, but
To
the
me.
trip code was, so like when a new drop would come out, I remember when Q had been silent for like 2 years.
Yeah, 2.5 years.
And then posted again. Man, everybody was they were trying to figure out and validate that trip code to see if that was really Q. And it was like everybody validated it that it was.
Right. Right.
And
That's when it became, let me start out saying that I think is maybe when it did start as Q though.
Yeah.
When was the first signature?
Signing the signature.
marked?
Yeah. The first.
Q post 61. So let me find that real quick. So
61 started the posting the signature as Q, except for the one that says 41020, which is DJT. Right?
Right.
So there's a
So
signature
that's what I think.
from that point
So I think it
forward.
goes back to, you have your anonymous, right? Where Stav was talking about kind of you're like talking, your narrative seeding, you're doing whatever. And then the first signature on stuff becomes Q.
Right.
So
but
when we're talking Q, we're talking Q clearance.
For what
I
was the date on 60? That's what I wanted to know.
That's going to be Thursday, November 2nd, 2017. So I have a theory though, but go ahead.
That's not been posting very long. So the point, it sounds like 60 drops is a lot, but Q was posting a lot that first. So that's Thursday, November the 2nd. They didn't start posting until October 28th. So that's only a few days, guys, to get to 60 posts.
Here's my theory. You want to hear it?
Mm-hmm.
I think the first Q drop is not till Q drop 61.
That's what I think.
Okay, and let me tell you why. And I'm going to back it up with this. You can count on the people who have the full picture on two hands. Of those, less than 10 people, only 3 are non-military. Why is this relevant? Game theory. Outside a potential operator who has been dialed in with orders specific to his or her mission, nobody else has this information. Operators never divulge. I think that these people that were narrative seeding everything were actually not part of the Q team, but they were actually operators seeding information so Q could come out at post 61, because Q post 60 is what we just read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but read it. It says, please refer back and collect my crumbs. Now is this 60 or 61?
This is 61 right here.
Okay.
This is the first post that's signed Q.
Okay. So it says, please refer back and collect my crumbs. Just saying.
Yeah, knock my socks off. That's what I'm talking to you about the unique identifiers. Okay, those were different users. So yes, knock my socks off. You are correct. These weren't just written by 2 or 3 people. If you go through the drops, there are operator after operator after operator, and they're all different. Every single one of them are different. So have I blown you away, chat? I mean, are you looking at these things just a little differently
and if you didn't catch this from the beginning, go back and watch so that you can see. Well, you need to see the beginning to really understand where we're at here. I think they're in the first 60 are included for a reason. They should be, because like I said, on 61 it says please refer back and collect my crumbs, but this is like where it's like crumbs, laying out crumbs, right? You know, like Hansel and Gretel. Follow me, follow this, follow whatever. I don't think it matters personally whether, you know, the whole thing was part of an operation, the whole thing.
Right.
So to say 61 is more important than 60, no. Every bit of it is just as important and just as legit.
I want to interject something just because my brain, how it thinks on a legal standpoint, okay?
Uh-huh.
So for me, if you're looking at records with a legal file signature, like legitimately, so you're talking about FOIA, NSA, CIA records with an actual legitimate legal file signature, okay? Anything that would be having to do with FOIA proceedings, or involving state or CIA, NSA, anything like that, that shows that there's a file web that existed before the illegal escalation, if that makes sense. So to me, that's what I'm saying when I say there's a signature.
Yeah.
Somebody is seeding something to tell us that there's a FOIA or NSA or CIA. There's already something going on before the illegal escalation. Because it kind of goes back to what I keep talking about with RICO, right?
Yeah.
That's what I see. So they're pointing us into what file cabinet, if you will, to start looking into. Because Josh has said, keeps saying this, and it's perfect. This is an excellent tool because, we keep saying future proofs past. But here's the thing, and I was guilty of it when I was younger. We just take what we've been taught and we take that as that's the gospel and that's how it is and whatever.
Right.
That's not true.
Right.
So the truth of this is, rather people want to say Q is a LARP or not, the one thing that it has done is it's made people look and try to learn for themselves, which is the point. Whether you want to fess up to that or not,
right?
I don't care. That's how I feel.
Because it's not been discredited. The information is legit. We didn't know. People did not know this stuff unless you were involved. They didn't go on NBC and freaking broadcast this crap. But because of this, you can go and find the information because it's telling you what to look for. It's giving you at least, at the very least, the keywords to look for.
Yes.
It's shining a light.
So exactly. So the whole thing about it being information warfare and all that, that is true. We are in a battle for those types of things in the greatest sense because we have become so complacent of just believing everything that we hear. And the truth of the matter is, if anything, this has injected into a movement or into us, I mean, worldwide, not just us, of actually having to go back and relearn, for a better lack of terms, our history on a whole, because we haven't learned properly. So whether people want to believe it's real or not, that to me, as Josh has said repeatedly, it's a tool. It's up to us to go in and learn. So
it's to break the spell. I mean, all of the indoctrination, the false history that's being taught by these teachers and whatnot that are twisting and manipulating history to change and anyway, it's a tool, but it is, like I said, nobody knew this. This was not being talked amongst people, right? Nobody knew these things because we weren't privy to that information. We were just everyday Americans working, taking our kids to ball practice, picking up groceries, work all day, recycle over and over and over. We knew whatever Dan Rather that came on the damn TV told us, well, that's what's going on. We never thought that it was not true. Not in a million years. We had no reason to.
No.
Until
absolutely not. But I get, and the bigger thing is I'm glad you guys are doing this, because this again is now we've got these, because all of us weren't there at the very beginning. So we can't fall complacent into just going, well, here's the drop and here it is, and just trying to figure it out like, well, this is what it says, and just running with a narrative that's not there. We need to be able to go back and be shown, no, that's not right. Here's the actual chat.
Yeah.
We need to learn this is what was really going on at the time, because that helps you piece things together in a way that future does prove past, because it even goes, each one of them have a separate meaning. They even could go back further, in history if you pay attention. So
Yep.
Kudos to you guys. It's a lot of work.
It is. And I knew, like, I would click on all the in a drop. Can you pull up one, babe, that's got like a bunch that he's responding to? So like,
hold on just 1 second. Let me get to one.
Okay. Just so I can demonstrate, because there are people watching that they don't know this, and it's key. You need to know how to do this, because I know you see the drops and you're like, oh, well, so and so, this is what so and so says this is about, so that's what it's about. You need to be able to do this so you can see for yourself, because it's not all you can't take someone's word for it and then believe it as the gospel. You need to see it for yourself.
So can I go through it real quick?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So here is this post. See, it looks completely different than it does on QAG. So let me show you this post on QAG, how it looks completely different. This is post 28 I'm looking at, guys. Okay, you see all this information right here? Okay. Well done, picture being painted. All right. So let's go back to the Chans Well, I'm sorry. Guys, I'm sorry. There you go. Here's what it looks like on the Chans. Post 28 right here.
Not on the chance, on QA.
Or, yeah, on QAG. Sorry about that, guys. And it says, well done, picture being painted. But when you go back to the Chans, this is what that post looks like. And you're going to see some stuff right here. It says quoted by. What that is that that's later on down the road, and Anon actually quoted a Q post for whatever reason. That doesn't mean that Q was quoting these posts that show up right here along this line. That's what the Anons quoted Q and had the rebuttal to him. Whatever.
A rebuttal or a comment or
Right.
whatever.
So what Tracy was talking about just now, this is a quote right here. You see that? You see how it looks?
That's Q picked that number to quote.
And they quoted an Anon here. This wasn't a quote from another Q drop. Okay.
Some are like that.
Some are like that. Yeah, exactly. Some are like that. So that's how you can go back to the Chans and say, okay, well, what was Q talking about right there?
Right.
So you can hover over that. You see how that's big right there. Those numbers are big. And that means that is a direct quote that Q was using, not what an Anon quoted right here, like it says in pink right
So there's two different things. So I think you need to make sure you understand. So that it can be confusing. That's why I'm saying there's two different things there. One, this thing right here. And that's why you see that in QAG, because that is what Q was quoting. But these up here, when it says quoted by, these right here, they quoted Q. This
later on down the road.
Later down the road.
Yeah.
But this was Q. What Q was quoting, in other words. He was quoting this when he said, well done, picture being painted. He was quoting that. So and when you go to QAG, which is right there, right?
Yep. You click on it and hit that. Share this tab instead. There you go.
Okay. So where's 28? 28 right here. So
that's completely different.
Yeah, but that's okay because all they did was copy and paste what was being quoted on that. Okay. But there are, and you can show them, there are drops where multiple things, Q is quoting multiple things. Well, there's no way to put all of that in QAG like that. So you have to do this yourself to go and see.
It's exactly right.
So Q will post like 10, 15 instead of just this one's just got one. There'll be some that's got a lot that he's responding to. So he quotes them and responds to it. But you wouldn't know this if you don't go here and dig and figure that out and see.
Somebody was asking how to get there to the Chans. Well, the easiest place you can go right here is that you already know is QAG.
That is the easiest.
Okay, but you click on a certain post right here. You see this little blue right here? If you click on it, it takes you to the Chans. It takes you to that post on the Chans.
Right.
Now, if you wanted to get even more in depth, you're like, well, I want to see what this operator posted. Just this operator that posted this post. I want to see what else they posted, not necessarily the entire drops. So you take this ID right here and you copy it, and we go all the way back up to the top and go to the search, and under unique ID, you paste it in there and you search. And it will give you from that operator, just the operator that was posting under that ID, it'll give you every post that it says right here. Mm-hmm. And if further on, if you want to go back to that post of that conversation, there's a little view button right here. And you hit that. And it'll take you back to that conversation right here.
It's fun to play with. Anyway, you can't break it. And it's essential so that you can fully understand everything.
So let's see here. Give me just 1 second. So we're going to go back to... go back here. Okay. So I want to explain something to you. You heard Stav talking about a non-pop culture. It's a real problem in our movement right now. These drops are not something to be played with and to be taken lightly and to just pull whatever you want to out of the air. And Dan Scavino posted this. Oh, there's the drop, and just drop it and move on. Oh, that's what he's talking about. No, that's not the way that Q taught us to do things. That is a non-pop culture. 17 here, 17 there, full control here. Look how fake and gay this is.
It's all a movie.
That is not what our movement's about, people.
No.
Our movement is about taking these drops, researching the information, and news unlocks the map.
Yeah.
And tying these Q posts back, like the Uranium One scandal that is fixing to hit the airwaves anytime now when we get this Iran deal done. It is our job to take that information and educate the public about the research and the crumbs that we researched on back in the day. And why does Dan Scavino communicate with us? To let us know what's right around the corner. Or to let us know, give us a proof that Q is real.
Or,
yes, Ted, crumbs make bread. Absolutely.
Right.
Bakers make bread.
That's right.
Real bakers make bread. Real bakers don't go, oh, look, 17 here.
It's all a movie.
Oh, it's all a movie.
No worries. Everybody's wearing a mask and everybody's a clone and all this stuff to get you from what's important.
Listen, I have a lot of enemies on X. A lot of big anons do not like me because I destroy their narrative. I destroy their little money-making schemes that they got. I destroy, when you watch a show like this, you're walking away scratching your head going, well, I've been told something completely different. Well, what's going on here? I'm telling you to get into the source, get into the drops, do your research, educate people, quit talking about who all... Guys, listen, I know there's masks out there. Yeah. I get it. I get it. Okay, I understand. That's not the mission, though. The mission is education to the public about what's coming through the pipeline. It's about getting everybody on the same page, not just sitting back in row G in the movie theater and just sitting back eating your popcorn. It's not about that. That's not how we get people into the movement. We get them by red pilling with facts and relevant information relating to the current news, because news unlocks the map.
Yeah. Tense, I hope you do. She said, I'm going to have fun with this. Lots of digging to do. Yes. And I'll tell you, if you've got a desktop, it's so much easier than doing it on your phone.
It's hard doing it on a phone.
It is hard to do on the phone, to click all of that. But if you have a desktop, do it, because it is interesting, and you will be so much more educated, and you will have so much more information and knowledge, and know where. If you do this, if you will put the time in, then you're going to be ahead of a lot of these big name anons that, you'll be way ahead of them because they haven't taken the time to do this.
Were you impressed by Stav on those videos, ladies and gentlemen? Stav didn't make it into the big spotlight because Stav didn't want to play the games.
Right.
He didn't want to play the Twitter slot machine.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we do have to play the game to get the information out there, but nobody would pay attention to Stav because he would destroy their narrative of all these big ass shows that everybody tunes into every week to sit back and just force feed you information and tell you what's fake. Right. That is not what our movement's about.
No,
people.
And it's a shame. It's been adulterated. These people should be shameful. They're no better than the freaking Democrats. None. And I think some of them have been inserted on purpose, if you want to know the truth about it. And some, money changes you. They found a way. They found a new gig, And a lot of these people, you see some of these, from freaking all over the world, pretending to be Americans and all this stuff. And it's sad. There's just so much different bad things going on. We've been infiltrated. I mean, they can't take, they're going to do everything they can to take this down. We are completely transforming things.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to throw everything at it. So if you think for 1 second that whoever you see on a podcast or that's got 1 million followers or whatever, you think, oh, they're good guys. Man, listen, they're in there for a reason. And some are good. I'm not saying all that have 1 million followers are bad guys, but some are. Some are. And that's why it's important for you to be able to get the information for yourself. So we're trying to teach you. So you're not led astray. You're not made to look like a loony bin person, somebody that, belongs in the loony bin because you're talking about weird stuff that, like this, what is that called? That Galactic Federation BS.
The Galactic Federation of
seriously.
Light Workers. Yeah, that's BS, people.
There's a lot. It's a war for your mind. Shield it. Protect your mind. Seriously.
Freedom Fire, what Stav said is so spot on. When you remember when him talking about the silos and everybody's getting funneled into these silos. Listen, I love to sit around and conspiracy theory about everything being absolutely fake and stuff like that. But what that does to you, okay, just like Stav said, what that does to you is it gets you in this little world. It gets you in this little, very, very small world. But when you look up in a silo, it looks pretty big. I mean,
right.
you think it looks pretty big. It's like, damn, this place is big. But then when you open the door and you step out and you're like, holy shit, I have been locked down into this one little thing. And there's this whole world of information out there that I'm completely missing.
Yeah.
Right.
And so what has been done, and I'm just going to tell you right now, folks, what has been done is this whole movie narrative has been seeded into our movement. There's a lot of compelling arguments out there. I get it. I understand. But what's happened is you all have funneled into the movie theater and you're not coming out.
Right.
You're not stepping out of the silo and researching information.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these people are coming in the movement watching these shows and they're automatically being drawn into the movie theater where you're not doing anything else.
Entertainment sells, guys. You know what I'm saying? One good thing that they've learned not to trust the MSM, but they're being they have to find an alternative, and then they get sucked in because it's another form of entertainment. I understand it. I used to watch Phil Godlewski all the time when I first got into this, when I first woke up.
That's the biggest grifter there ever was.
Well, but you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
You don't know what you don't know. You learn. And when you've been in it long enough, you start to figure some stuff out.
I mean, everybody...
It takes time, and I ask everyone to pray for discernment. Like, sincerely pray for it. And trust that God's going to give you that discernment so that you're not led astray and you're not believing crazy stuff or something it's the enemy trying to get you. It's like, oh, they're not going to believe this. Well, I'm going to get them to go this way and believe this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want the truth. The good, bad, the ugly. I want the truth. I'm an adult. Give me the truth.
What does your hat say?
Truth or medium.
That's right.
America deserves the truth. That's what my shirt says too. That's our slogan for our company. I want the truth. And I think that's what you want too. And I don't want you just to take my word for it. Because I'm a human. I make mistakes. I admitted to a mistake I made this at the beginning of the show. I make mistakes. You use your own discernment. Pray for it. And then figure it out. Go dig and see if you agree with me. If you don't, that's fine. We can still be friends. I got friends that believe a lot of things that I don't. We can still be friends, but I'm trying to help you to be able to figure this out and see that you're being lied to and misled by, ultimately the enemy. He's the one that wants you off to believe lies.
To get you off mission.
Right. Do you think that the enemy and I'm talking about Satan, honestly, that's the ultimate enemy. Do you think he wants America to succeed or fail? Good. I'm a serious question. So don't you think he's going to do everything in his power to make sure it fails? Absolutely. So it takes, the only way to counter that is with truth. When the American people, the people of the world really they see the truth, it's over. What is it? Sunlight is the best disinfectant. We need to know the truth. The only way you're going to get to know the truth is dig in and find out for yourself. Don't trust Joe Blow that called this and called that. Find it.
Well, that's the last thing on my podcast ever that you're going to hear about me talking about the movie people.
Right.
Okay.
I'm done with it.
You've got to learn on your own.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, I have given you some crumbs to look at the situation a little bit differently. I have given you a reason to look at it differently and how to look at it differently.
Mm-hmm.
I have given you the ability to go back and look at the source. That's what I want you to do.
Correct.
So when you're watching some of these shows and they're saying A, but you know B is right, then that ought to tell you something. Right. And I'm not saying just to watch all Truth or Media shows, because I mean, just Grasshopper, excellent and on.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent and on. He does great shows and great digs and everything. But what I'm saying is that be wary of people trying to push an agenda,
mm-hmm.
of trying to push a narrative. I'm just telling you where to find the drops, where to find the conversations that happened, so you can go look for yourself and make your own determinations on it.
Right.
Because what's happened is a lot of these people aren't giving you the source. And what's so funny to me is these same people that don't give you the full picture, and they call me saying I'm a gatekeeper. I'm a gatekeeper? I just gave you the source of all the Q drops, and I want you to go look at them. I'm not out here pushing a narrative saying, oh, well, this is what it is, and this, and this, and this, and this. I'm saying this is real stuff right here. This is how you find out about it, and this is what we talked about on the chance and how to find it.
Yeah.
How the hell am I gatekeeping?
I see somebody from Biloxi. Hey, neighbor, I don't remember ever seeing you. 13J6H.
So again, that I know a lot of people get tired of me getting on my soapbox about this.
Well, we're passionate about it.
Yeah, I hear it though. And this is the last thing I'm ever going to say about it.
Yeah.
Because I have given you the tools and the knowledge to make up your own mind about everything. If you believe everything's a movie, I'm not going to fault you for it.
Right.
But I will say that you're not doing everything you can for the mission.
Right. That's right.
Freedom, what do you got to say?
No, I 100% agree. I personally, I'm one of those people who I want to know everything that I could possibly know. I always tell everybody I'm from Missouri, so you have to show me.
Yeah.
You know, you got to show
Mm-hmm.
me. I mean, that's just who I am. And it's not that I don't believe people. It's just, I like to find things out for myself. So if somebody's telling you, hey, and you just showed me, this is where you could find it all.
Yeah.
Right. Use that for sure. I mean, that's what we have to do. If we're not, you know, and that's something else that I found when I came into the movement, is that a lot of people would get really mad at Anons who would say, you know, like basically they wouldn't help them. You have to find it yourself. You have to find it yourself. Because I came in later, and you know, I didn't come in until later on the boards, and I was on the boards, but it was like after a lot had already happened. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to go back and look, and you know, I had to start piecing things together myself, and it did suck because you had a lot of people who were just assholes. You know, they were just they didn't want to help you.
They wouldn't. They wouldn't
want to help you at all.
Yeah, it took me a long time. Well, they were protecting. They were supposedly protecting, you know, the board or whatever from, and I get it. But that wasn't the mission was to spread, and Q eventually, I think, sets the record straight on that. I mean, we are to disseminate this information. We need others digging, but But yeah, it took forever for me to figure this out, how to get to the boards.
Yeah.
And finally, someone had, I guess, persistence paid, because I kept on. I'm like, it'd be nice if I could dig too. And then finally somebody told me, but it was hush hush in the beginning. It was a message board. It wasn't like Google,
Right.
you couldn't just,
yeah. It was hard. So yeah, for sure. And that's the big thing to me. It's like, and that's how I kind of found you guys, like much later on. But it was one of those things where I was like, okay, these people they're just kind of telling everything, and that was very, like, you didn't see that. So that's kind of when I very first started watching you guys and stuff. I mean, I watched your first show, Josh, and everything. And so that's how I I just started following that more, because that's what I want. I want people who are going to tell me, because the truth isn't always good. We know that, our history in our country and all over the place is not great, but we all have faults, not necessarily saying it's all on us personally, but how do you move forward until you know what you're dealing with in the past, like for real? How do you move forward in any of that kind of stuff? You can't reconcile with anything until you really know what you're working with in the past, because you're never going to change it if you don't know how bad it really is. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's the truth. Otherwise we're going to continue to always be blinded by the shiny glittery things.
That's exactly right.
And that's not what we want.
I don't want a narrative pushed on me anymore.
No,
that is what the MSM has done my whole life. I seriously, 9/11, dude, I was ready to go kill them over there. I was.
Right.
So, but my point is, I don't want a narrative coming just because I don't want it from, I'm not going to accept it from anybody anymore. I want to know the truth. I'm tired of the narrative. I want to know the truth.
So there's still a little confusion out there, okay? Because somebody said, well, QAG is the source. Okay, let's back up. And
maybe they came in late.
Yeah, I think she came in late. QAG is a program that scrapes up all of the Q drops from where they were originally posted on a website called 4chan, 8chan, and 8kun. Okay, it was what they called a message board where Q went. Okay, what you see on QAG are just where the drops that Q posted. Okay, there was actual conversations going on the message board that Q was posting on
and responding to.
And responding to people and giving us bread and crumbs and things to dig on. So if you limit yourself down to QAG or Q alerts, you're not getting the full picture of it. You're just seeing what one post said out of context.
Correct.
Okay, so that's why I'm telling you, you can use QAG. That it's a great tool. I use it all day, every day.
Every day.
Okay.
Every day.
But when I need to go research something and be like, well, what was Q talking about there? So I go back to the chance where the original post happened, and I'll look at the conversations that were going on that message board at the time where the Anons were actually interacting with Q.
And it's not just that. And for the person that came in late, we demonstrated this, so you're going to need to go back and watch really from the beginning so you can understand. But Q was in the Q post. There will be the IDs, the persons, the people that Q was responding to, so you can see that. Again, go back and watch. You can even just hover over the thing and it'll pop up. So you'll see the conversations. You don't got to go read back for days and days and days. Q responded to certain people. And some of them will have 5, 10, 15 people that he is quoting. He is responding to when he posts that. I say he, but when they, whatever it is, makes their post, they're responding to other people. So it's essential to know all that context, to know what's going on.
Yeah, Q used to host Q&As with us, and we would ask questions, and if we were lucky, Q would respond to us.
Hmm.
So, you know, and I'm just going to say this one last thing. This whole narrative that's been seeded into our movement about everything's a movie and everything is completely under control and yak, 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 yak. Um, it started with a group of Anons that came into the movement right after Joe Biden got elected.
It's quite interesting about the
Tw-
timing.
2020. And I do want to show you this post right here, and we're going to wrap up. So let me find it. Because I didn't have it queued up for us. So all right, so let me share this out. Okay, this is post 4881.
Notice the date.
Notice the date, 2020. There are Q, number 1.
There is Q.
There is Q, number 1. There are Anons, number 2. Okay? There's a reason why there's numbers there. Okay, I'm getting to it. There is no QAnon, number 3. Media labeling QAnon is a method deliberate to combine detached Q to comments, theories, suggestions, statements, and actions made by number 2, Anons. What happens when you cannot attack the information, which is the primary source number 1, which is Q? Do you attack and typecast through the use of others? Not all Anons are authentic, injected. It says you're correct. It was talking. Q was talking to CJ Truth on the boards. Retweet at 1717 had a meaning. Mathematical probability 1717 the day after. Do you believe it's a coincidence surgical removal of YouTube accounts occurred the same day as the Hunter drop? Welcome to the digital battlefield, Q. But the point I'm trying to make is Q made this drop when this whole narrative that everybody's attached to, that everything is a big show and everything is a big movie, was emerging.
That's when it started. Yeah.
Let that sink in for you. I bet nobody told you that one. And they certainly didn't tell you the context behind the post. So I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah. I hope y'all will go and, you go to QA, click on a post that you whatever, start playing with it. Start seeing what you can find out, because I'm telling you, it's a lot of information that's not out there. It's that's what that's what the whole purpose was, to go and research and find out this information for yourself, because then when you see it for yourself, it's solid. It's just like when you learned multiplication for the first time. You got it. Now if I say 6 times 8, boy, you got it. You know it. It's done. It's in your brain. You learned it. Go learn it and figure it out. Go look up all this stuff and figure it out. Dig. And then you'll be like, I'll be damned.
So,
This is a military operation. There's no way, that this isn't. I mean, this is legit information. They're telling you where to look, how to find it.
open source intel, my friends.
If not, we'd never know all this stuff. None of this would have come to light.
Q LaRue said over on X, it's scripted by the military. I would say this. Let's replace scripted with military planning at its finest.
Yeah, but I agree. It's a script. A script is a plan, guys. That's what a script. It's
Yep.
not a word for word like that. Like it's a plan. It is a military strategic, very carefully calculated plan.
Central casting just doesn't mean that somebody's in a mask.
Right. They
President
looked
Trump
the
did-
part.
yeah.
I wrote an article that talks about the movie. It was my most successful article, actually.
Yeah, it was. It was really good.
And it's, yeah, go ahead.
Central casting means that that person is probably perfect for that role. Just look at Pete Hegseth. He's central casting. He is
He
absolutely
looks
perfect for
the
that role.
part. That's what Trump means by that. He's 80 years old. That's what you say. I mean, he is central casting.
He's from the entertainment industry.
If you were
too.
gonna pick a Department of War, he is badass. He's the one. He looks the part, right? I don't doubt some people. I have my own theory. I
yeah, the
think
whole
that
Biden thing too. It was fake.
yeah,
I get that.
absolutely. I completely think he was wearing. I look. I think that the ones I say the higher ups, but I don't even know how you would say it. But the big players, I believe they've been taken out, and they're in a mask where someone's playing that part, but not everybody, guys. I don't think that if this is legit a military operation and they found out what Obama and Soros and all these guys were doing and Hillary, you think they just let them walk for years and not come to justice for that? No way. Not for those kind of crimes. Somebody guilty of treason, we're just gonna wait? No, I firmly believe they've been taken out. Those, but not every freaking person in Congress and every freaking person. Not everybody is wearing a mask or a double or a whatever, a 2.0. Some are. I do believe that. I do. I really do. That's my theory, though. That may not be the truth, but that's my theory.
And I want to say this one other thing too, and then I want to turn it over to Freedom Fire so she can talk about her Friday show. Let me word this correctly. I am loyal to President Trump. I worship God. I think that President Trump is being used by God to fix this world. I do not pledge my allegiance to big names and big families in this movement no longer. My allegiance is to President Trump and his messaging alone. I don't care what your name is in this movement. I don't care what you've done for us in the past. What I care about is what you're saying about my president right now when it's go time. And if you are not, I don't care what your last name is, you can infer anything that you want into this, people. I don't care what your last name is in this movement or how big you are in this movement. If you are not supporting POTUS, I will not support you. Plain and simple.
I mean, we've just come too far.
And I will not support your circle around you either.
And the reason we say that about President Trump, I mean, he's a human being. He can make mistakes, sure. But we've seen so much over, I mean, these past 8+ years that there's no denying that he is working. He's doing everything for us, for this country. He didn't have to do this. So I'm just saying, so he's earned my trust in that until, and he's not done anything yet that has betrayed that trust. Quite the contrary. Everything I see, everything he's doing, and we don't see it all. None of us. We can't see the full picture. We don't know. We don't see the things he sees. He has access to everything. We don't. And so when you see people out there that used to support Trump, and now all of a sudden they're starting to question and argue and, say all these horrible things, it's like, wait, what happened? What happened to that? Money changes people, guys.
And there's a little thing called free will.
Yeah. So
I hate to tell you that, but I mean, it's a very real thing. God created us with free will.
I just think
Things
God is controlling it. This is God's plan. None of this none of it could have happened without God's hand in this. There's no way. It's too evil. It's too corrupt. I personally think God is using President Trump to bring about this change. Not, I don't think President Trump is any kind of prophet or anything like that. He's a man. If you have ever read the Bible, I mean, I just did Bible study on Tuesday about this. God uses ordinary people to do extraordinary things. And I believe that he's using President Trump. I believe that President Trump has answered the call and he is being used by God to do it. I firmly believe that.
Last thing, Freedom, and I promise I'll get to you, but I think this is very important to say. In this movement, Q warned about this. Q post 4964, 11/27/2022. One of the very last Q posts. Okay, Texas girl, I got you. We will raid directly over here in just a minute to AJP Army. Rapid fire news. Q post 4964. Be aware of false prophets. I am not a prophet. You are not a prophet. We are not prophets. Focus on the mission. You want to know what the mission is? Q post 3509. There are anons out there that go around bragging all day long that they called this and they called that and they called this, and they use the drops to try to predict things. That is not our calling. Our calling is not to call things and prop ourselves up and make ourselves look good and look like we know everything. Our calling is to spread the information through facts and relative D-class information that we are receiving right now as we speak. So when we focus on just being right all the time and being that, well, look what I did. I told you this was going to happen. It's not the mission, people. And it disgusts me that I log into some of these shows and that's what they brag about. Q post 4964. Be aware of false prophets. I am not a prophet. You are not a prophet. We are not prophets. Focus on the mission.
Yep.
Q. All right, I'm going to turn it over to you, Freedom Fire. Do you have anything else before we turn it over to her?
No.
I think I've said my piece. We've been on our soapbox for almost an hour. Go ahead, Freedom.
You're doing great. No, I hope you guys join me tomorrow night. It will be me and Yeet Force Official tomorrow night
Awesome.
on Signal Over Noise, the Receipt Room. Tomorrow night, we're going to be, he and I had been working on some stuff together here for a little while on, it's going to be on some birthright citizenship stuff, but I don't want to give away too much. It's going to be a really good show. And it kind of touches with some stuff that DOD put out on the U.S. Pacific Command, ironically. So I'm kind of excited about that because the timing was like really good on that. So we're going to talk about some U.S. territories, and it's going to kind of tie into, I'll have a little bit to do with election fraud. I've even got some stuff that's got to do with Ukraine and some birthright citizenship stuff. So things are just kind of going together nicely with the timing. So I think we were definitely on the right track. And he had already been looking into it, and I had looked into it prior to that, and it just has all come together really nice and neat. So
Good.
I'm excited.
Me too. I
Awesome.
can't wait to see it.
So, guys,
Yeah,
if
it's
you
going to be
wanna-
really good.
If you want to find that show, just go to truthermedia.com. It is on tomorrow night's broadcast. You can find it right there. You click a button and it'll take it right to the channel. And that's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Next week, we're diving into the drops. We're going to get some context. We're going to go into the chans. We're going to see what happened. And we're not just going to read these drops and give you our explanations from it. We're going to give you back-end context. Because that's the only way that you'll be able to understand these drops.
And that's why the first two shows that we've done on this is setting the foundation so that you know why we're doing what we're doing. And, you know, when we show you all the context and everything, that's why.
Yep.
Setting that foundation so you have that understanding. So if you did come in late, please go back and watch the beginning. Watch it so you can see how to do this for yourself, and so that you are familiar when we do this next week and we start diving into the drops. We're going to start at 0 and move forward, and we're going to really dig into them. So,
all right, guys. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be raiding over to Rapid Fire News with AJP Army. He has got a great nighttime show if you have never seen it. So if you're part of the night shift, make sure you check in to Rapid Fire News, and I'm going to raid you over there on Rumble.
Always such a
and
good show.
Pilled.
Yeah. He has a fun show.
He does.
You'll enjoy it.
And a lot of music.
Yes, that's my favorite part. He has great music. He's always got music. Yes. He reminds me of a DJ. I don't know. I like
He does
it.
me too. I say that
But
all
he
the time.
gives
Yeah, I
such
love
good
it.
information. It's fun.
He
That's what I'm
does.
saying. It's a fun show. It's like go hang out with him and see.
And guys, on Xland, thank you. We have got 4,984 live views right now. And that is incredible considering I've only got 8,000 followers now.
Right.
So
That's very incredible.
thank
That
you.
just means that our real people followed us over.
That's right.
So thank you for being real, man. Thank you for supporting us through all this stuff. Thank you.
And, just like I said a little while ago on X, I don't need a huge army. I just need Gideon's army.
Mm-hmm. That's for real.
That's what we need.
if you know the story, we talked about it on Tuesday at Fellowship in the Word. God took his army from 32,000 down to 300. So that's what we need. It's not the numbers. It's the value. It's the quality of people, good people who they want truth. That we're not entertainment anons. That's not our mission.
No.
We're about the truth. We want to find the truth. If you want entertainment, there's other places. But we try our best to give you truth, and we try to dig and verify and make sure and show you how to find this stuff for yourself.
That's why Tracing Justice is about digs and truth. We do biblical truth on Tuesdays on Fellowship in the Word at 8 p.m. And if you catch our morning show, my morning show, Dawning Justice in the morning, it's all about the relevant news. And sometimes we mix in some drops because we unlock the map with the news. So I don't try to go out here and push this narrative that I know everything. I'm just an anon, just like you guys, that's been in this fight for a very long time, and I'm just showing you the information of what I found.
What we found. That's correct.
That's it. I'm
going to bring receipts.
Yeah, that's right. And she brings.
I'm going to bring
receipts.
receipts.
She does.
That's my thing.
Yeah, somebody was asking about my Truth or Media shirt and hat. So yeah, I got it, and I love it. And I couldn't even wear a high ponytail with this one. I didn't, but yeah, I love it. I do. So thank y'all for saying that. I appreciate that. I like it too. I designed it, and so of course I like it.
So I did want to mention real quick that on our on truthermedia.com, just hit that little green button that goes to our shop. Okay. And
oh yeah, this is my new design.
Look at this shirt
I love that.
Yeah.
Isn't it pretty?
Truther Media, America's 250. Yep.
1776 to 2026.
And here's what's on the back of it.
Oh.
250 years of faith, family, and freedom. That is a female shirt, guys. Sorry, you can't have the pink shirt.
Oh, you can if you want.
I'm going to have to get one of those. I
got
love
it in
it.
the tank.
And also, we've got our new women's tank top, too, that says Truther Media, America's 250. And there's that hat that Tracy's wearing right there.
Well, that's that one, yeah.
With the ponytail
Yeah.
on the back of it right there, the opening right there. And we've got all kinds of hats, guys. We've got that Trump classic red and America's 250 with the flags on the side of it. We've also got in white, Save the Republic. And we've also got our Truther Media hat there. So make sure you're checking us out, all of our stuff at www.truthermedia.com.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to end us in prayer? Do you want me?
It don't matter. I can.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you so much for this time that we are able to come together and learn and discern. And Lord, we ask that you would give us discernment so that we can see the truth from all the lies and all the narratives that's out there, Lord. I pray that you would be with each and every one of us, everybody that came and supports us, watches us. I thank you for their friendship, Lord. They're the real ones, and I appreciate you bringing those to us. Lord, I ask that you just put protection over all of us and keep us safe to the next time. Lord, I ask that you would be with President Trump. Give him discernment. Give him supernatural protection for all the enemies coming after him. And Lord, I want to pray for our country, that you would lead us, all of us, to get our country back serving you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. And
Amen.
we're going to be rating over to rapid fire news. So you all stay put and stay tuned. Go take a bathroom break real quick. Whatever you got to do, just make sure you come back for rapid fire news. And remember, guys, let's go make fishers of men. Let's go save some souls. And let's go save the Republic. I will see you guys later. Thank you so much.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
You thought you could bury me. Thought the dark were closing. You were wrong. You don't know who I am, and you never will. You drew the line in the dirt and flame. They said I'd break, said I'd shame. Whispered threats through a locked back door, but I've heard sound before. You pushed and pulled, tried to crack my back, but I don't collapse like that. I don't run, I don't bend, I don't bow to fear of men. When the dust clears, you'll see you never buried me. We're not backing down, we're holding the line. Truth will be heard, not just whispered in time. You can't stop this, we will not fall. When justice rises, it answers the call. You thought you knew what I stood on, but this ground's been here too long. Stealing the blood, fire and breath. I don't scare easy at talk of death. You don't know the weight I carry, or the hand that stands behind me. You can shout, you can lie, try to crucify, but chains you swing and stones you throw only make the pressure grow. We're not backing down, we're holding the line. Truth will be heard in its own time. You can't stop us, we will not fall. Justice is coming, and it's coming for all. You thought you could take me down. You don't know who I am. I don't stand alone. God holds my sword of truth.